Shabbat Shalom, awesome tribes of Israel all over the world. Baruch Hashem Yahweh for this week. It's a great week. A lot of things happened this week, so I'm going to start with a little story. I think it's pertinent for me to tell you this story because this hopefully will help you to see where we kind of all stand in the scheme of things. Before I do that, let me just give you a little joke. A rabbi and a priest and a minister walk into a bar. Then a horse walks in. The bartender says, "Why the long face?" Okay, so we're going to start with a story, and this is a true story, although characters and names may have been changed, places may have been changed, but it's not fiction. Now you need to know that you are under the Kohen in the gate, and I want you to understand what that means, because some of you don't understand what that actually means. And I'm inundated practically all week, from people from different parts of the world asking questions, seeking help, seeking guidance. All sorts of things go on in my life every week. It's not a quiet moment for me. And I think I'm having a quiet moment, I get some call or email pops in, and then I need to attend to that. So first of all, and I know some people are your relatives who may, somebody maybe you pointed out to come and seek my advice, which is okay. I don't have a problem doing that, but I do have one problem, and that is this: that I am here for Israel, Kol Yisrael, all of Israel. I'm not here for the Gentiles, for the rest of the world. And people who don't attend classes, people who are not part of us, and I don't mind giving them advice. I don't mind it. When that happens, I don't mind giving them free advice. But there is a limit, and that limit means that the gates of Israel are not open for everybody at all times. The gates of the temple were open for Israel. But you remember, if you've already forgotten, that the temple had different corridors, and there was an inner sanctum, inner sanctuary, and there was a place where only the Jews could gather, only the children of Israel could gather, and the Gentiles had to be put separate from the rest of the people. I think that most people have forgotten that. So therefore, they could not get first-hand advice from the priesthood. They'd have to get second and third-hand advice. Priest didn't come out and say, "Hey, Mr. James, I've come over here to give you some advice because you were referred to me by so-and-so who's part of Israel." So I would suggest that people who are seeking advice, I'm not saying that they can't come, they can come, but I would say that you've got to explain our protocol to them as well. Because without protocol, I won't do nothing. So having said that, let me now give you a story. This is, like I said, this is a true story, and it begins like this. About roughly 3 months, let's just say 3 months ago. I'm going to say 3, it's actually a little bit longer than that. It was probably, I'd say, let's see, April, May, June, July, August, about 4 months ago. I had a lady that came to me, and her husband had gone to a remote place to rescue a cousin of hers and her family that had kind of disappeared in a remote region, mountainous region, kind of dangerous, broken roads, and bridges might collapse while your car is driving on top of it. And if you've got a regular car, they're not very good drivable cars in that region. As you know, mountainous roads require a four-wheel drive, and cars can easily slip off of mud and water that's kind of lying around those roads that filters down from the mountains. Anyhow, so one family was lost, and there was no sign of them. So I was asked by a lady in the east to assist, and I was asked that she was very distraught that her husband had gone and did not return after 2 days. So she came to me. This was a poor woman, this is not a rich woman. She came to me and she said to me that, could you pray for me, for my husband? And first she asked me, whether her husband was okay. So, as a Kohen, I will tell you two things. That the Kohanim do have the power to tell if somebody is alive or dead. We do have that power to summon, to ask this question in the heavens and receive an answer immediately. And maybe sometimes, we may not do it straight away, but we can actually ask that question, because Yahweh made an ordinance and a statute and a judgment, and He said that I will be with the Kohanim forever. This is my covenant with them. They have me as their inheritance, which means that we can call on to Yahweh any time of the day or night and receive an answer, if we may desire to do so. Not that we do that, but I'm just saying we may not do that unless we really have to, but that is there. So anyhow, so for this lady, I told her that her husband was alive but in danger, and she said, well, I don't have nobody else, I'm pregnant, my husband is gone, can you do something for me to bring him back? I said, okay, I will do something for you, but you're going to have to be patient, because nothing will work in 2 days. This is not put popcorn in the microwave and 2 minutes later the popcorn is ready. So I said, you're going to have to be patient, but I promise you this, that your husband will come back in one piece, whole and alive, but you're going to have to be patient. I will do what is in my power, and I will then wait, and I will instruct you when the time comes, either when he's released or when he's about to be released. So a month passed by, 1 month, and she came to me, and I said, it's not yet time. I have the angels working on it. They haven't reported back to me. They actually have gone into that region, and when they report back, I will report back. 2 months passed by, and she came back, and I said, no news yet of his return or his release yet. Then the 3rd month came, which is the month of August. Excuse me. So I said to her, then one day I was sitting over here, and I got I got a message from above, and I was like, this person's about to be released. And then it was like night time, it was my night time, probably very late, or it was about to be my night time. Actually, was it my night time? It was my night time, and I didn't know what, where this woman was at the time. And of course I was going to ring her at 2 o'clock in my time, 2 o'clock in the morning, when I got my message. So I got, somebody else phoned me at that time from the east, and I was hooked onto a call for the next, my goodness, I don't know, 6 hours, till the morning. So I completely lost track of that particular event to inform that lady. And then what happened, because I should have informed her that her husband is about to be released. And then the very next day, the lady contacted me, and she said, he's very happy, and she said to me, my husband is alive. He contacted me and said that he's, come out of captivity wherever he was over there, and he needs transportation to bring him back, etc. So I said to her, I apologized to the lady. I said, I'm sorry, I had this information last night, but I couldn't connect with you. I got, rounded up by somebody else in the middle of the night, and I was hooked onto a call for the next 6 hours on and off, because the line wasn't very clear. Their call kept breaking and they kept redialing. So I said, it was almost 6 hours into another call, and by the time it was morning, I was completely out of time, daylight, was starting up, and I hadn't slept all night. And then I had to do all my daily routine. So by the time I finished my daily routine, it was 10 o'clock, and it was their night time again. So anyway, so I said, thank you for letting me know. I should have let you know yesterday. And she was actually profusely thanking me, that she said that you really have helped me, and if it wasn't for you, my husband would have never come back, and I'm so grateful to you for your help. And I said, okay, great, I'm happy for you, let him return to your home, and you guys get on with your life. That was one story, one thread of the story. And there was another thread to this story, and that thread was her cousin hadn't returned. So the cousin was also there, and the cousin was being held captive under their will by some people, some nefarious people over there. And then I inquired from the heavens, and I asked the question, is the cousin alive? And I was told, yes, the cousin is alive. Then I asked the question, when will she return with her? Because there was not just a cousin, her mother and her sister, couple of people, there's about 3 of them. Then I was told the very next day they would be released. So I informed her that your cousin will also be released the very next day. So it's going to be like one day in between. And then I asked her, I said, send a person over there to pick up your husband. And then of course that person went over there, picked up the husband, and sent the husband back. And there was we then had to use a little bit muscle. Sometimes you don't just sit there and just pray. Sometimes you have to do something more than prayer. That's all the time you have to do more than prayer. That's I understand that very well. Christians don't understand that part of the equation. When you have a situation where people get kidnapped, we're talking about guns, we're talking about bad people, we're talking about sending in guns. So I sent in a heavy-handed gun as well. I sent in a man who actually had had weapons on him. So he actually ended up shooting one person down. He killed one person in in this rescue mission. And by the way, I funded that rescue. I'm proud to say that. So he rescued the women as well, and not just he rescued the 3 women, he rescued several other women over there. And they were all rescued and they were released. And then I thanked him for doing the mission, and I said, okay, now these people can go home, all of these people can go home to their necessary homes, and that's the end of the mission for me. So these are the kind of things that I get involved in behind the scenes that you don't know about. You think I just sit over here and I just chew my nails or watch TV. I don't have TV over here, and I don't chew my nails because my nails grow very big and then I have to cut them with a clipper over here. So having said that, I did a rescue that your American American Delta Force would have done. I did it right from my couch, completely coordinated the whole operation, fully funded, paid for, and at least a dozen people got rescued. So Baruch Hashem, Yahweh, I am so proud of myself. I thought if my mother was alive today, she would, she'd pat me on the back and say, son, you did a great job. You rescued all these people. Look how many people's lives you saved. So I was so happy and I was so thankful for that. And so that's the kind of position that I sometimes get pulled into. So you might think it's just, lift your hands up and pray. No. Sometimes I have to kick somebody, and sometimes I have to punch somebody too. Sometimes I have to pull people from here and pull people from there to do tasks. So we have to do that. In my world, I have to do these kind of things. I'm not always doing it, but from time to time, such missions do come up, and I have to coordinate them. And then sometimes, there might be a need for rescuing somebody, maybe in another way. Maybe they need medication. Maybe they need to be gone to a hospital, or maybe they are, dying from starvation or something, and I may have to, send some help from people I know over there, or in such such manner. So this is not to boast, but this is to show you that what kind of things I get up to in my, pastime, so to speak. Absolutely, Rabbi Kefa. Prayer has many levels to it, and one kind of prayer is actually to fight a war. That is prayer as well. And we have to fight somebody with, with weapons. So don't ever say guns are bad, because guns save lives. And I just proved it, that through, prayer, not just sitting prayer, prayer means action, through action and through guns, many people's lives were saved recently. Now, obviously, I don't make this a political debate, whether guns are good or bad, but all I'm going to say is I will use them wherever, I will get them, I will use them wherever they need to save lives. So I don't need to debate it with the, with the Democrats or the liberal or the Republicans. I'm not here to debate this. And so that basically is what happened on one side of the occasion. On another side of the equation is this, that I can sit in a position and somebody can ask me a question and can say, I'm about to get a job. Like, a student did ask me this question. A student of mine in the East asked me a question. I'm offered a job. The salary is better than what I'm being paid, marginally better. Now this person's been chasing me to work for him, and he works for a major company over there, and I guess the salary isn't tremendously high, but he works for a company like Xerox, and they don't pay a huge amount of salary over there, but anyhow, he was offered a bit more money than what they were being paid. So he came to me and asked me, and I told him that not to take up the job. And he then didn't take up the job, because I told him that you'll take up the job, and what may happen is you may end up losing that job later down the road, because I made an inquiry and I was told that he shouldn't take up the job. So he didn't take it based on my advice. And so therefore, there are things like this as well that go on in where I am. So it's not just sitting over here and praying for people. People have real needs in their life for information, and information is the lifeblood of people. See, decision making. So they need to make difficult decisions in their life. It could be a job, it could be a marriage, it could be something else. Another person came to me, and it was a marriage related question. Two people want to get married, and parents are against them. What do? Should they get married? Should they run away? Those kind of things go on as well. So then I have to sit over here and inquire from the heavens and give them the correct answer, whether they should go ahead or whether they should wait or whether something else needs to happen in between. So in my world there's lots of action. My world is never quiet. And one thing I will tell you, that I can be anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where I'm staying. I don't care if it's England, China, Pakistan, India. I don't care where I am. Israel. I could be anywhere in the world. And when I'm called upon, I will have access to the God of Israel all the time, 24/7, 365 days a year. My access is always there. So having said that, don't ever doubt that the Kohen who sits here and speaks to you actually has a lot of power under his hand, and I use that power very cautiously, and Rabbi Kefa knows that too, because he is aware of a lot of the things that go on around here. If anybody I communicate with him mostly about these things, what's going on. So Rabbi Kefa, as Rabbi Kefa is saying, he's a witness and a watcher of this. He knows the whole thing. I explained it to him when it first started, and he knows how it unfolded, the whole thing. So having said that, I want to say this, that be very circumspect about your lives. I've always cautioned people, and I will caution again, that your families are important to you. You must protect your family's information close to your heart. Do not divulge information about your spouse, your children, to third parties, other people out there who may get jealous, who may try to slander you, or may use that information to do nasty things. Basically, people get jealous. People don't like to see other people being happy and joyful. They like to see miserable people because they're miserable themselves. So misery likes company. So try to avoid the miserable kind. Try to protect your families, and do not invite strangers in your house who you don't know, because I have done that in the past. I've invited strangers into my house, and I've ended up being slandered. I ended up having bad name. I ended up having all sorts of things going on, and as a policy, I do not do that any longer. I stopped doing that about 2 years ago. So I'm no longer going to do that. I'm no longer going to invite strangers into my house, and no longer going to just hand out goodies to people I don't know. So this is why I recommend you also to be cautious in that manner, because your families are important to you. They are, what you live for, and you need to protect your families. Very, very important part. And before you invite other people into your home, even for 1 day, 2 days for staying, be very careful whether they're going to come and occupy your house and then they're going to cause ruckus in your family. I've done that in the past. I had a Christian man in England come to me, a Baptist man who was a friend of mine. He asked me one time to put somebody up in my home for 2 days. He had a $4 million, he had a $4 million farm, and he couldn't put up a man into his $4 million farm because his wife wouldn't let him. His wife was Catholic, and he asked me to keep this person for 2 days. And this person had, I kept him for 2 days. I had to actually practically put him on a train and send him off to London and tell him never come back this side again, or you'll be sorry if you came back around this town again, because he had some kind of mental issues. And he started to speak, he was in my home, and he started to speak and say things which were not nice. And so I had to, then at that point my spouse was afraid of what he's talking about, what he's saying, because he claimed to be a Christian and claimed to have come out of, wherever. So that was twice, I did that for that person, 2 times. Second time, the person came to my home. I gave him ticket money to go back to Czechoslovakia, and to this day I've never received my money back. He said, "Oh, please give me money and I'll pay you back, and I go for this interview." And it was about 70 pounds at that time, which was about $100 back then. And this is going back several years ago. And guess what? I never got that money back. This is your so-called Christianity out there. Typical mishmash, mumbo-jumbo, nonsensical Christianity. And they claim to be born again who do these things. So watch out for anybody who claims to be born again. Watch your back. Don't, lend your ear to people like that. Otherwise you'll be sorry. We are Torah keepers. We keep the Torah and we live by the covenants that Yahweh has given us. And we don't go around knocking people's doors and saying, "I'm born again and come and join me." We don't do that. We are children of Israel, and we live by our precepts and practices that are enshrined in our law, in the Torah. And nothing is bigger for us than the law that we serve, and nothing is bigger than the God of Israel for us. So this is very important that we understand that. I'm not saying our understanding of Yahushua, Jesus of Nazareth, is very different to these people's understanding. Adelia is saying that my mother passed away last week, and I give esteem to Rabbi Yahweh for blessing with a wonderful mother. My condolences to your family, Adelia, and may she rest in peace until Yahweh will send her back into the world again with the reincarnation. So it's not like she's completely gone. She will be back, just like that man says, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his movie, "I will be back." And so souls get recycled, they get reincarnated, as is the will of the God of Israel. He sends souls back, and we have plenty of evidence of that, where people have died and have come back in different bodies, born into different bodies as babies again, and grown up and told a story about how they were in this world before. So this is not uncommon. This is very, very common in this world. So, and then I had somebody ask me a question about hell, and this person said to me that he wanted to answer somebody, I guess Christians, who else would he be answering, about hell, that does hell exist? And I said to him, can you give me a passage in the law of God, enshrined in the Torah? I don't care what the prophets say, and I don't care what the New Testament says. I said, can you give me a passage enshrined in the law that says that there is a hell and there is punishment for humans over there? There was no passage, of course. He can't give me any. So he quoted me a passage from Numbers. I believe he said Numbers. The story, it was from the Parsha of Korah, Parsha Korah in the book of Numbers, chapter 16. And he spoke about that one, and he said that where the earth swallows the people up. I said, it doesn't say there's a punishment place, and it doesn't say that that is hell. I said the place is called Sheol. The place is a holding place, temporary, albeit, and after that God will remove those people and put them somewhere else, wherever He desires. It's not your typical, fire and brimstone and burning forever nonsense kind of hell. It's not that. That's not the place. So I said it doesn't fit, and it could be taken both ways, literally and allegorically. Could be taken both ways, and neither way does a hell fit. And if you want to, take the story of, I believe it's in Luke chapter 16 somewhere, in the book of Luke, where it talks about Lazarus, and the story there about him going into the Father Abraham's bosom, even that is not the hell. That's an allegorical, symbolic story. It's not saying, oh, there's a de facto hell, people go there, rich people go there and they get punished. So again, this mumbo jumbo came from Christianity, and the masses are there. They invented this hell so they could inflict this on people, and they could put fear into people's minds, and they could subjugate them. That is what really the story about hell is. Hell was created by the church, and he mentioned that the Islamic books, they talk about hell as well. And I told him that the Islamic books take their stories, guess from where? The Gospels, of course. They take the story of Lazarus and they'll probably twist it up and make it into something else. So that's their understanding. So I said, a religion that was born during 600 CE, it doesn't necessarily mean that now God is speaking to the Arabs, in a different language. Before God speaks to the Jews in their language, and He speaks to us in Hebrew. Then He goes to the Christians and speaks to them in Greek. Then He goes to the Arabs, speaks to them in Arabic. And next He goes to, I guess, Joseph Smith. And then He speaks to Joseph Smith in whatever language in America. Then He goes on to Jehovah's Witnesses and speaks to them. So the story never ends. So that's not the God we serve, by the way. That's man-made up God. And our God spoke to Israel, set up the covenants. 2 million people saw Him on the mountain, and that story ended there. There is no such event in history where the God of Israel publicly came down and spoke to a whole nation, not in hiding in a cave and saying, I was in a room and nobody else saw me. It was none of this mumbo jumbo. It was a straight, everybody saw Him. Everybody heard Him. 70 nations heard His voice. Israel heard His voice. They were fearful in the land of Arabia. So these things are written enshrined in our law, in our books. So we don't argue about them, because we don't need to, because we know that they are absolute truth. So having said that, we'll move on. Now coming back to our lives, where does God want us to be? God wants us to be not stuck in some mumbo-jumbo religion and fearing hell, hellfire, and brimstone, and burning, and torture. God's not into these things. God wants His people to be blessed. He wants His people to be nourished. He wants His people to be fed with the right information, so that the Kohanim's job is to feed the people with the correct information, so the people can benefit and enhance their lives, and not be cowering for cover and waiting for hell to come upon them. So having said that, I wanted to come right down to the family level, because the whole structure of Israel, it's a family. It's a family relationship. The families are divided into, you could say Israel is one family. Families are divided into tribes. Tribes are divided into clans, and clans are divided into sub-clans. At the end of the day, every structure is a family. There would always be a father, a mother, children, a leader, people, and families. So that is the structure. So when we look at it, basic family structure requires that, because families are going to run into problems. They're going to run into all sorts of issues and problems running their lives. Then they need help. And this is where the temple and the priesthood came in. The priesthood stood as a way to enhance people's lives and help them function in their lives. And so this is where we're not different today. We're the same. The priesthood hasn't changed. The temple functions hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. Every law of God is still active today. We may not have a standing temple, which will be made, maybe in our lifetimes, maybe after our lifetimes. Either way, we will have our temple one day, and we will be serving the God of Israel one day. So rest assured, this I have no doubt in my mind. But if the Messiah tarries, and He doesn't come in our lifetimes, He may come in our children's life or children's children's life, but He will return. That promise has been made. Now I want to come back to the ground level. Families come to me, they don't say to me, when are we going to heaven? Because that would be the wrong question to ask. They say to me, I have such and such problem, Rabbi. How can I help myself? How can I help my family? Nothing happens to the unrighteous when they die. Everybody is God's creation. God will deal with them. Because it's God's prerogative to who He punishes and who He doesn't punish. That's not for us to decide. And so having said that, like I told you, I'm dealing with families every week. Individuals, children, families, husbands, wives, problems. I'm dealing with all sorts of problems and issues and diseases on top of that. It just happens to be that I get the worst of the crop. These people go to all the doctors, they go all the physicians they want to, and then they come to me when they are completely hopeless and nothing is working for them. Then they decide to come to me. They should have come to me in the first place and saved themselves from doctor's visits. But of course they haven't clued up yet, what they should do initially. First they eat all the garbage medicines out there, they put all the pollutants in them, and they take all the addictions, and then they come to me and say, oh, Rabbi, please, I need help. Now they want the Rabbi to do magic and cure them instantly. So having said that, now let's talk about somebody's home and somebody having problems, blocks, issues, and how do we get around it? Let me give you an example. You may have relationship issues in your family. You're having fighting with the wife. You're having drainage of finances, and you having maybe job issues. Are you going to be interested in when to go to heaven? Or are you going to be interested in how do I fix my job issue? How do I fix my spouse issue? How do I fix my relationship problems, my children problems? The negativities that your home has. I can tell you, de facto, that most of the people I've spoken to, they are less interested in paradise in some nether world. They're actually interested in living their lives over here whilst they are alive and fixing their lives while they are living. They don't worry about what happens after they're dead. That's neither their concern. They don't worry about that so much at this point. Right now, they're worried about how do I put food on my table? How do I, fix my relationship with my wife? How do I fix my relationship with my children? How do I remove negativity from my home? So I'm going to give you things now that will help you do that. But this is why it's better, because I think it was Simha. Simha, I need to make a call with you after the Shabbat. I got your message. Thank you. I know you said that I speak too fast. Thank you for that comment. I know I sometimes do speak very fast because I have a lot to say in a short amount of time, and I know it's difficult for you to write everything down quickly. So this is why I do put out the recordings on YouTube and on Facebook page. My Facebook page, believe me, is not my fan page. I'm least concerned about a fan following. My Facebook page is simply for me to put my teachings on it and any pertinent information that will help people. So therefore, if you are not able to write everything down, you have two choices. You can go back to the recording. It's always posted after the recording in the afternoon. It gets posted on YouTube, youtube.com/simalt, or my Facebook page, which is Rabbi Simon Altaf HaKohen, and you can find that on the net, and it'll be posted there as well. So all the teachings get posted. You can repeat, you can re-listen to them and pause the recording where it's too fast and write things down and then move on from there, etc. And if that's too difficult because you're not technology savvy, then of course you got the traditional old method of contacting me by email and setting up a phone call. That's the other method. Rabbi Kefa saying he speaks fast and loud. Speaks too loud. Maybe he does. Sometimes I speak too soft. People can't hear me. So what I would suggest is, I did mention a lot of things last week, and maybe, I don't know if it's worth me going over some of those things. I mean, if you give me an idea of what it is that you didn't understand last week, and I'm more than happy to go over an explanation so that I can help you understand it. Then all you got to do is just put a question up and say, I didn't understand such and such you said last week. Then I can go over it. Because that way it might be a refresher for other people to pick it up as well and use it in their personal lives. Because this is not a charge. I'm not charging you money over here. This is a free class. This information is given out freely. Yeah, I know that there are people who charge outside, and they charge many, many dollars, hundreds and the thousands. So now, any questions from last week before I continue? Shabbat Shalom to you, Vancouver, and congratulations on your new job. Okay, alright, so let's see. So if you have no questions from last week, then let me continue. Let's see, the Parsha. The Parsha says, Parsha is a Kev, which is from the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 7. So let me just go there a second. Chapter 7, let's pull it up. Chapter 7 verse 12 in the book of Deuteronomy, the 5th book of Moses. Therefore it shall come to pass, if you listen to my voice, to these judgments, and guard and do them, that Yahweh your power shall guard you into the covenant and unmerited favor which he swore to your Ahavot, to your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless you with many children, and the fruit of your land, your wheat and your wine and your oil, the offspring of your oxen and the flocks of your sheep. In the land which he swore to your Ahavot to give you, you shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle. And Yahweh will take away from you all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Mitzrayim which you know about, will lay them about all them that hate you. Now, and you shall conquer all the peoples which Yahweh your power shall give you. Your eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shall you serve their powers, for that will be a trap for you. Okay, so give me a moment, please. Give me a moment. Now, what I'm going to say is this. Do you see anywhere here where it says that Yahweh will punish you, will put you into hell, will torture you, and will make sure that you will get roasted properly before and other people can see you being roasted? Does it say anywhere there that in any of these books? I don't see it, and I've never read it. So this is just to remind you that what Yahweh has spoken in these few words, and there's a lot more there, that he's only talking about blessings, well-being, and that you're going to be, well blessed abundantly. Yes, and it says you should not pity those who hate you. In other words, if somebody don't like you, if somebody don't like your color, and somebody don't like your clothes, and somebody don't like your hair, they hate you for it, you have to have no pity on them. That's exactly what it means. So, people start to pity, people start to, I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. You have been chosen, you have been selected, and you are a light unto the nations. And if they hate you, then you don't need to worry about it. Why are you worried about being hated? You don't need to worry about it. You need to live your life the best you can. Now let's talk about your home. What it is that you should do in case of negativity, lack of blessings, abundance, maybe you're having difficulty with your spouse. What should I do to overcome these difficulties? People say, I've been sitting there praying to Jesus, and I've been doing this every day, and I've been diligently praying, and nothing seems to be changing. The answer is very simple. You don't know how to pray. You don't know how to do. So the church taught you the way of prayer is totally wrong. You're not supposed to do it that way. So that is the problem. So what do we do in such an instance? And I'm going to give you an example from the Bible, because sometimes people come to me and say, Kohen, where did you find this information? Well, I guess it's inbred. It's part of my blood, and it comes down from family to family, structure to structure, clan to clan, and also it is actually in the Bible. The Bible does not take liberty to explain everything. We have to do the explaining. So here is something that you should be doing, and I'm going to recommend it to you, and I want you to write it down. I want you English people, the English speaking folks, because when I speak in different languages, I have to tell them according to their language. Get yourself something called camphor. Camphor is something that you find in products like Vicks, that you use for your chest and clearing your nose, when you have colds and things like that. Get yourself camphor. Camphor comes in the form of, it's a seed, it's a plant that grows. It comes in the form of small white, like sugar looking like bits. It can come in that form if you buy it from Indian stores, stroke Asian stores. Asian meaning Pakistani, Indian, Southeastern. I'm not talking about Chinese stores. They don't sell it mostly. And you can get it either in oil form, essential oil. Now, I would recommend having both if you can, the oil form and the other form, the sugar type form, the little nodules. What we're going to do with these? Well, we're definitely not going to just sit there and look at it. We're going to do something with it, and you're gonna burn that camphor in your little diffuser. You're going to get yourself a diffuser from Walmart or whatever is your local store that sells it, or if you don't have a store, you can buy a copper, get a little copper bowl that you can readily buy from eBay or Amazon, and they are inexpensive, about maybe $10 a piece, and you buy your camphor from the same place. I saw it on eBay. They sell a lot of camphor. Type India, camphor India, and you'll see loads of it all over the place. They sell it by the bucket loads. So you get the camphor, like I said, get both varieties. You have to burn that camphor every day. Burn it every day. You take 2-3 drops, about 3-4 drops of camphor, put it in your little burner, and then you put a little candle under it, or your diffuser that you plug into your electric sockets, and you run that, and you let that camphor burn into your home. What will the camphor do, you may ask? What is the point of me doing camphor? What's so special about it? Well, camphor is very good for you in a number of ways. Number one, it will remove negativity from your home. Number two, camphor will bring in abundance into your home. Number three, it will enhance your relationship. Number four, it's got many health benefits. If you are suffering from problems, health issues, what you do is in the East, we're all kind of used to bathing out of a bucket or maybe like a big canister full of water. We do have showers as well. We're not backward people. Every home I know in Pakistan has a shower, but I know they also have their little tubs, and they fill up their tubs with water, and some people like to sit down and pour water on their heads with a little container. Some people like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I did it when I was a young kid. I still like doing that when I'm there. So what you do, you put 2 drops of camphor, only 2 drops, maybe even just 1, because it can be very strong depending on the strength. If it's essential oil, put 1 drop into the water, then bathe with it. Any kind of problems that you have, you may have head problems, eye problems, chest problems, leg problems, whatever problems, camphor will help you with that. Very, very powerful, very powerful. It has a lot of spiritual properties. Let me actually give you a verse from the Bible where we get it. But of course, like I told you, the Bible is not a science book or a dictionary that explains everything to you. So here we go. In the book of King Solomon, Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 14 says, "My beloved is unto me as a cluster of camphor in the vineyards of En-Gedi." It is right there, and it's spoken about, and that's all the Bible is willing to tell you. The rest I've just given it to you. And I haven't given you all. Probably I've given you 50% of what camphor can do, and there's a lot more. So I do not want to overwhelm you with information, because there's no need to. So this is the first thing that you need to do with camphor. Very, very important. Now let me see if I can add to that. Yes, I can definitely add to that. Housewives. This is something for the housewives. Now the camphor not only removes negativities, but camphor can help you with new opportunities, like you're stuck, nothing is moving, that business opportunity, that job is not coming through. What you do, when you start burning camphor, suddenly new opportunities are coming up. That thing that was stuck is gone, business deal is coming up, new employment is coming up. That's what happens with camphor. Now for housewives, those housewives who like to burn the camphor in their kitchen, you can do that. You can take the camphor at night into your kitchen, and you can burn it in your little plate, copper plate, or metal container. Burn it over there, the 2 drops, and do it every night, 2 drops, or 2 bits of camphor, 2 small bits of camphor. If you buy the whole seed. Now, one very important thing. I said this last week. Never keep your kitchen dirty at night, because before you go to bed, ladies and gentlemen, always, yes, it keeps away mucus as well. Always clean your kitchen before you go to bed. Make sure that your sink is not full of plates that need washing and food that's going to be rotting overnight, and you come in the morning, there's flies all over. Don't do that, because a lot of ladies have a bad habit. Not just ladies, men as well, have a bad habit of leaving their, pots and pans full up in the sinks, and they go to bed. There's nothing wrong with it. There's everything wrong with it, because that is going to create negativity in your house. And it doesn't matter how many times you burn camphor in that environment, nothing will change. So the very first thing, clean your kitchen. Make sure it's spotless. And then make sure that before you go to bed at night, your dishes are washed and put away nicely, wherever you need to put them. Then you burn your camphor in the kitchen, 2 drops of oil or 2 bits of camphor. You will see magic happening in your life within a month. I guarantee it. That's if you follow instructions. So this is the important bit about camphor. Now I know last week I'll tell you what I spoke about. I spoke about your direction to be successful, what I call the success zone. And a lot of you gave me your date of birth, because I asked you, and I was inundated with date of birth. My goodness, I was busy all week collecting date of birth and sending information out. So I said to you, give me your date of birth, and I will send you your success zone, and you should face in that direction. Now listen, and I want to speak it slowly. You should face in that direction, into your success direction, and you do your affirmations in that direction. So you don't turn your face to, let's say that I spoke to you, and I said to you that your success direction is east. I don't want you to be facing west and speaking your affirmations, because you might be sitting facing west. A lot of people, and I'm not saying that I am innocent in this. I have done this in the past when I didn't have this important information. You go into a new home and you want to put your computer desk down, and what do? Hey, put it against the wall. you don't even think right that whether that's the right thing to do or not. And you just pick a corner, a spot, and you say, hey, I'm going to put my computer desk over here against the wall. And that is entirely the wrong place to do it. Your computer desk should be facing your success zone, number one. Number two, it should be facing the door. If your success zone is away from the door, fair enough, you face a success zone. If the success zone and the door are parallel, then you must always choose, the worst of the two is going to be the wall. Never choose the wall. Let me give you a little illustration. Those of you who like watching movies. If you ever watch movies, especially presidential movies, you will see that the president always sits facing the door. Always. No movie I have seen where they show the president sitting facing against the door. So I want you to look at that and analyze this information. Why? Because through the door, people come and opportunities come through the door. But if you're facing a wall, guess what's going to come? Bricks in your face. Blocks. So you're going to get blocks. You're going to get blocked because your energy is being blocked. Chadasha, you ask a question, do I set my bed facing my success direction? No, the bed needs to be faced in a particular way. I'll come to the bed in a second. First, your success direction is important for jobs, business deals, financial deals, and so on and so forth. In other words, you're about to make a $1 million deal, or I don't know, maybe, $50,000 deal or $100,000 deal. And your success direction says that you should be facing south, but you're facing north. That's the wrong direction to face, because you will not get that business deal. Now, if you faced your success zone and made that call and spoke to that person and said, okay, we're going to make this deal, and you're going to give me this much money, and I want to do this much here, and then what will happen is that deal will go in your favor. And it could be employment. You could be giving an interview to an employer and you face your success zone, and that's going to bring you success. But if you're facing away from it, that could bring you a block. So be very careful. This is where the success zone matters. I spoke to you also, and if you remember, I think I may have mentioned last week putting a fountain in your home. Did I mention it? Anybody remember? Were you all awake or were you all asleep? Yes, I mentioned a fountain. How many of you actually got a fountain for your home this last week? I see crickets in the room. Okay, my hand is raised up. Already have a fountain. Okay, so having said that, you need to get a fountain, and Rabbi Kefa, I know he's got a fountain. So you need to place the fountain in a particular way. And remember, I told you, it must be facing, I said to you last week, face it west. This week I'm going to change that instruction. And I'm going to say your fountain should be faced southeast. Majority of you will probably realize that that is the direction of Israel. And that is fine. That's all you need to know. Face it southeast. Note, change the direction from west to southeast. And the reason for the fountain, it should be pointing inwards, inside your room. The water should never be faced outward. Because if you face it outward, energy will go out of your house. It will drain your house of energy. If you face it inward, it will bring in energy of wealth. That's where a fountain works. Water is energy. Water remembers things. Water keeps memory. So don't discount it. This is $1 million tip. Millionaires and billionaires would pay good money for this tip. They wouldn't take it free. Oh, absolutely, Lion King. And I try to, give, our families over here, our awesome tribes, always information that will be absolutely excellent for your lives. You will never look back. Yes, I did mention the $5 and the stones, but you know, if you are not clear on that, I can go on that over that again, just to be clear. So fountain, I'm talking about a little bit more. Yes, Rabbi Kefa, thank you for saying that. Rabbi Kefa is saying, what about the fountain in the garden, Hakohen? Absolutely perfect. If you're going to place a fountain in your garden, you can do so, but make absolutely 100% certain that the water is facing inside the house. The way the water falls, it must be towards the house and not away from the house, because if you place it away from the house, it will drain all your home's energy out. Things will start to go wrong, left, right, and center. You'll be like, what the heck is going on? What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong against God? No, you placed your fountain wrong. So change your fountain's head to place inside the house if it's sitting in the yard, in the garden. What we call garden in England. You people over here call it a yard. So for English people, it's a garden. So having said that, if it's inside the house, always, 100% of the time, make sure it faces inside the house, inside your room, southeast. Please write it down. Southeast, southeast, southeast. That's your direction. That is the direction of wealth. Let me tell you something else of very highly importance. You're going to laugh at this one. And I could see always somebody in the room was making a joke about it, like it's some kind of, funny, comedy going on. It's actually not comedy. People's lives are affected by these things. And I don't take this as comedy. And anybody such, well, we'll have to deal with them. As they come, they will get thrown out of the room. So having said that, now something else. I want you to know this. And I'm going to give you an example. How many poor Arabs have you seen lately on YouTube or on the TV? Have you seen any poor Arabs that you see are, begging in the streets and asking you to lend $1? Anybody seen that? I haven't seen it. Anybody else? Every time I go through the Middle East, every time I go through the airports of the world, I see Arabs, sitting in, my goodness, absolute luxury. Have you ever asked yourself the question, how come the Arabs have it all and a lot of the other people are struggling? You need to ask that question. Of course, the general answer that's given, the general answer is that, hey, Arabs are the children of Abraham. Those that I have a little bit clued up, they'll say, oh, Arabs are the children of Abraham as well. They're the sons of Abraham. And God bless Ishmael. They'll say that, and that'll be their answer. Actually, that is not the answer, by the way. That is absolutely not the answer. Simcha is saying, what about if a key line is through the house? Will camphor still help? As for a wall, can the desk be to the wall that has a doorway if no other spaces for the desk is available? Let me come back to the Arabs in a second. Let me park the Arabs in the Middle East and come back to Simcha. And I need to come back to Chadasha for the bed as well. So Simcha, your one first is that if you have a key line to the house, camphor will still help. Yes. As for a wall, can the desk be to the wall that has a doorway? If no other space for the desk is available, then it's best endeavors. I will try to change the desk if you can and face it towards the doorway. If you can, try to face it to the doorway, please. Lee line. I'm just sure about Lee line or key line. Doesn't matter what line it is. It could be the air line, but you need to try to face your desk to the door. Try to do that. It may be that your success zone is facing a wall. Then I would say, okay, it's fine. You can face the wall. If the success zone is towards a wall, that's fine. But if you have a doorway and the zone happens to be maybe 45 degrees to the right or 45 degrees to the left, face it to the door. You're perfectly fine to do that. Now there is another way, and maybe I should just mention it. But before I mention it, let me talk about Hadassah's bed. Hadassah mentioned, should I place my bed in the success zone? Answer is no. No need for that. your bed should never face, and I believe I mentioned it last week, that you should have your bed, your head. Now let's talk about your head. Your head should always be lying, hopefully, I'm hoping, in the west side or southwest side, hopefully. Try to put your head in the west or southwest. Your feet are probably going to be facing the east if you do that. So that would be a good place to have your head. I said never, never, never. Even Bill Gates gives you $1 million. Never put your head to the Arctic North. That is the most dangerous place to put your head, because that will kill you with a heart attack, with a blood pressure bursting too high or something, because the Arctic North will pull your iron in your blood up to the head. It will kill you over time. It won't kill you in a day, but you will get a stroke or you'll get a heart attack. Over time, you're going to get ill health because you're facing your head the wrong way. Don't do that. So write it down. Never to place head on the north side, because the true north is, Arctic North is very, very powerful magnetically on this earth, and it draws up all the metal elements in our body. And if it's drawing up to your head, think what's happening to you. If it's drawing to your feet, you are safe. But if it's drawing to your head, you're in danger. You might start getting headaches, you might start getting depression, you may start getting all sorts of problems. And then people don't realize, why am I getting headaches? Why am I getting stressed out? Because they don't realize they're placing the head the wrong way. So be wise about that. Now let me come back to the Arabs, because I had parked the poor guys over there in the desert. It's hot over there. Okay guys, you can come in now. Let's talk about you. So why are the Arabs successful? The simple answer that's given to most people is, hey, they are Abraham's sons as well, and they have been given oil, and God blessed them because they're Ishmael's sons. Not the true answer. Because, by the way, Abraham's wife was an Arab. If the Arabs, according to Christianity, started with Ishmael, then how did Abraham marry to an Arab woman? Because technically she should not exist. Keturah, who was an Arab, should not have existed. And she was she was belonging to the clan of Yoktan, who was the first Arab, by the way, mentioned in Genesis 10. Go check your Bibles. That's where the first Arab is mentioned. Abraham was married to an Arab. And by the way, these very iPhones and iDevices and iPhones and iPads that you use and Macs, guess who was the maker of these things? Steve Jobs. Guess who Steve Jobs' bloodline? Guess who was in Steve Jobs' bloodline? An Arab. Think about it for a second. His father was an Arab. And nobody talks about that. And yet he's the person who shaped the world. In all these devices that today are being used by millions and millions of people, billions of people, are produced by a son of an Arab man. How many times you heard that from anybody? Probably never. Unless you heard it from me. So think about it. Arabs are generally blessed for one particular reason: how they place things in their home. Let's not say everything. Yes, it comes from God, but did they just get it accidentally? That they started to place things correctly? Is because it's passing from line to line, generation to generation. So all you people, what I see people arguing about, oh, why is he not black? Why is he white? Nonsensical, nonsense, garbage. I just hear garbage from people, but why is that Arab guy white? Why is he not black? Total rubbish. We're not interested if an Arab is white or black or whatever color he is. We're interested in, why is an Arab blessed versus non-Arab? How come he's got oil and I haven't got oil mines and oil wells? See, that's what you need to be asking. Not asking all of you running around, hey, why is that Arab not black? How can he be a white Arab? See, these are the wrong, racist kind of comments that don't need to exist. Because people mingle, people marry, and people mix. So, what becomes black becomes white, becomes brown, becomes yellow. My goodness, a rainbow. What are you going to do with that? So you're going to keep looking for black color in there. You'll be looking for black for a long time. So having said that, the reason is, let me give you the animal that does it. The camel. The very animal that you might be impartial against is the camel. Put a camel teddy bear, like a teddy of a camel, put it inside your home. Your home will be tremendously blessed, because a camel will draw in wealth into your house. And guess how the Arabs are getting it? Think about it. It's not, all mumbo jumbo. It's actually, there is something to it. There is actually a spiritual science to it. So this is why you need to do that. A camel stores water. Absolutely, that's a hint as well. So therefore, understood that a camel, like a toy camel or a picture of a camel in your house, is very, very auspicious, highly auspicious, and it is very, very beneficial. So when you place a camel picture in your house, or you put actually a little teddy camel in your house, I'm not saying bring the big beast in your house, because you're going to have a hard time taking care of the big beast. I mean, that'd be great if you could. Because I was reading the story of the prince in Abu Dhabi, who actually bought the most expensive camel for $2.5 million, for his racing, because he loves camels, and he's one of the richest people out there. And so, that speaks volumes to me. When I see that, I know what the heck's going on, but I don't think most of the other people do know what the heck is going on over there. So, camel, spiritually speaking, it's a very powerful animal to draw wealth into your homes. Put a camel teddy bear into your house, and if you can't find a teddy bear, then what you can do is get a picture of a camel. You should be able to readily find a picture. Maybe you can print one from the net as well, and then place it on one of your walls. Ideally, I would place the picture in the living room, potentially on the west side of the wall, ideally. So this is something that you need to think about. I think that we do know that Abraham, our forefather, had many camels, but we never question it. We never question how the heck Abraham became so wealthy. We just simply say, oh, God. But he did right thing that God showed him, hence why he became wealthy. I know many people who claim God, 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 but they are poor as dirt. So there is actually a methodology, if I can get the word right. Methodology. There is a methodology to it that makes it happen. So therefore it's very important to understand that Abraham came into the land of Israel probably with not that much, and as you know, over time he grew. And we also know that Jacob, our forefather, he also had a lot of cattle, but camels are not mentioned, donkeys are mentioned. Then we do have the mention of what do you call it, bulls, calves. But we must understand, just because the Bible or the Torah doesn't mention it, it doesn't mean they're not there. They are there. You got to assume it, because that is their vehicle of choice in the desert. And camel, by the way, is a very shrewd, clever animal. A camel knows how to get you in the desert from one place to another, because he can store water in his stomach for long periods of times, maybe a whole month. So camel is very, very auspicious animal, should be in your homes. Every one of you should have a camel. A picture of a camel, maybe a little teddy type camel, or something of that kind. Write it down and make sure it happens. And don't just listen to information as a you come over here and you listen to information. Do it as well. Don't just listen to it, because you're only doing a disservice to yourself if you don't follow through. I spoke about the fountain last week. If finances are an issue, then you should be the first one to be buying a fountain, because that's exactly what it does, is deals with your finances. So with that, any questions? I hope I didn't speak too fast for you this time. I tried to explain things a little bit if I could. And the money side that Yemisia mentioned was, yes, I said take a $5 note. If you're in North America, a $5 note. If you're in Europe, a £5 or a 5 euros note, and I gave you about 4 stones to put on it, and that will help you to maintain energies of abundance in your home. So with that, I'm gonna thank you for listening to me, and I will put this recording up. You face the camel's picture or the teddy camel west of your living room, Tara. With that, have a great week ahead. Have a great Shabbat. I love you all. Take care. Your Kohen in the gate, always here to help you. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. May Yahweh be abundantly bless you wherever you are. Over to you, Rabbi Kefa.
Yeah, to RSAHK for great instruction for us to go out and act properly. Proper actions is key. To God for your responses. Vive la France, Oliver, Shabbat Shalom to you over there in France. I think our president, he should be there now. He flew out last night. He should be out in France now. Should be. He should be there. President of the free country, free world. He's there. Oh yeah. President Trump is over there. Baruch Hashem. Thank you. For safe travels, safe journeys. Thank you. Yahweh. Thank you. Universes. Well, it's Hakoyin is right. I don't know about you all. Can I get a census here? I mean, these past 6 days of labor, has anybody felt an amp up of the activity that's going on around them, spiritually, physically, financially, in any area of your life, health-wise? You've been kind of amped up, unusually higher than, maybe previous 6 days of labor. Anybody else besides myself and Hakoyin? Hakoyin mentioned there's a lot of things going on, right? There's a lot of goings on, and that's brilliant. That's great. I'm super happy, super excited to be connected. Torah says it's hot. to be connected and attached to the son of Aaron, to Hakoyin, Simon out there. I tell you, your lives will never be the same. The information that you're getting, this is what I'm going to talk about today, and I think it's very, very important and pertinent that we continue on with these discussions. And I want to start out by saying, please, I know I talk loud. I just have a big mouth. That's just me in general. I'll tell you what, I was in the doctor's appointment with the wife the other day. I tell you, the doctor's offices rooms, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows when I'm coming. Everybody knows when I'm there. They're like, oh, we knew you were here. Because, not only do I have a big mouth, but I infuse light and joy. Wherever I go, I bring happiness with me. It comes with me. Because I tell myself in my affirmations that I am positive energy. Now, that doesn't mean positive energy has to be loud. Just like you have the movie Fast and Furious, you over here, you have fast and loud. With Hakoyin being fast, as some may think that he talks fast, which is understandable, and that's, that may be relative. Some folks, some of you may think that Hakoyin talks slow. But then you have fast, and then you have what? Then you have loud. What a great combination. So, believe me, the importance of what I want to say here is this. Please ask your questions. You see, because when you ask a question, you're not only helping yourself, but you may be helping several other people, and even those that are going to be listening via YouTube as well. They may have that exact same question. How many of you got that aha moment? And you got that moment where somebody asked the same question that you were going to ask, or maybe you were too timid to ask, but somebody asked that question and it really helped you. Anybody? Is there anybody like that? It ever happened to them? And so again, always ask questions, because believe me, you have to stop for your responses. By the way, always ask questions, because the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. And believe me, maybe you come from different experiences to where. If you ask a question, you may feel like you're going to get put down or blah, blah. People are going to laugh at you or mock you. You're in the family now. You're not going to get that here. You're in the family. And we're only here to uplift you. We're not here to shame you, put you down in any kind of way. Of course, we're some jokers. We like to joke around because we like to make, make light of every situation, because every situation and experience that we go through is light. When you begin to understand it, and it's light now. You don't carry no heavy burdens. Quit telling yourself that, because Christianity will, hoodwink and bamboozle you and condition you. Oh, you got to carry your cross, brother. How many of you heard that before? And they're literally carrying it down here in San Antonio, down the major thoroughfares. They're carrying crosses. I'm like, my goodness. Did you take that verse wrong? So this is what happens. Folks and religions, they take from our books, but they misinterpret what the meaning is supposed to be. You shouldn't have any heavy burdens upon you. No, your burdens are light. So you need to make light of life. And this when you can begin to start to really enjoy life to its fullest. When you lighten things, you wake up in the morning thinking about these bills you got to pay. You need to lighten your load. You wake up in the morning thinking about when they're going to come take this house. You see, you need to lighten your load and give thanks and give gratitude that you're in a home now, and that you have covering now, and you have food in the refrigerator now, and you have, protection now. It's so very important. I tell you, I continue to be blessed, benefited by my benefactor, the son of Aaron. He's your benefactor as well, but I'm going to keep it personal. He's my benefactor, and he's your benefactor as well, because he's assisting you to understanding exactly how to live a life, and that life more abundant. Christianity talks about this all the time, abundance of a life. But they have no clue on how you're supposed to have that abundance. How do you get it? I'm all about the how-to. How do I get those things that I want in life, whatever they may be? Because everyone in this room, we may have some commonalities in the things and the desires and the wants and the dreams that we have, but, we may have other things that seem ridiculous to one person. And I say, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem for, diversity. Now, on the movie front, I will encourage you all, me and my family last night, we incorporate movie nights. So we all just sit down and watch good movies, uplifting movies, factual movies. Just like how Kohen has taught us that we should be watching these things. Nothing wrong with watching. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Captain Marvel, all that. I like all that too. But real movies that's going to really, just motivate me to continue on. I'm going to talk about that as part of my lecture as well. But one movie I would encourage you all to watch is Dying to Survive. It's based on a true story coming out of China. Dying to Survive. It's about trying to get proper medications being too expensive, and a lot of people just dying off because they can't get the medications they need because their medications are so expensive. The title of the movie is called Dying to Survive. And I was able to watch it on my little Roku, my little Fire Stick, on one of those little, because it was, it's not on Netflix, but I was able to pick it up on one of those other little streaming little networks that you get free on the Fire Stick there. So check that movie out. It's called Dying to Survive. Great movie. And I tell you, it's just really uplifting. Why? It's because human beings are doing great things regardless of what consensus or even the law may tell you is right or wrong. Sometimes you have to elevate above that and do what's right for humanity. Because some of these laws out here in these countries are not set up or instituted to help humanity. And so when some brave people can step up and look beyond themselves and outside of the so-called trouble and don't live in fear, because that's how they try to get you, with fear. That hell scenario, that's all fear factor, baby, wrapped up in a nice bow with a nice bow on top. And some wrapping paper. They wrap it up real nice, and everybody's supposed to run around here and waste their whole life on the face of this earth worrying about a heaven and a hell. And Hakohen put it right back on point. What's important is today, now. What can I do now? Give me some instruction now on how it's going to benefit my family right now, how it's going to benefit my finances right now, how it's going to benefit my health right now. Now is what's important. But a lot of the focus, when you look at students of nature, as students of humanity, most folks project their idea of now is projected out in the future. And that's been part of the makeup of the conditioning and the hoodwinking and the bamboozling is not to focus you on what's going on right now. Let me take you in the past, or let me take you in the future, or let me just play with your emotions. Fear being one of them. I don't know how many times I've heard, oh, my heart is broken. He broke my heart. She broke my heart. But you still here talking to me. So, Baruch Hashem, let's show gratitude, give thanks for that. Learn from the experience and let's move on. Next page. Let's turn the page. Chalk it up as experience. Learn from it. But then you have to leave it. Ooh, that'd be a good lecture. Learn and then leave. You learn from your experiences that have happened to you, then you leave. And you don't waste all your time asking future questions when future is now. So you waste all your energy. You see, that's the two pendulums. You either in the past or you're in the future somewhere when you need to be now. And your focus needs to be now. And your energy needs to be on, yeah, I want that wife. Yes, I want that husband. Yes, I want those children. Yes, I want that house. Many folks are worrying about a mansion in the future and not the house that they can have now. The house that they can have right now on the face of the earth. Their concentration is not on that. So what needs to happen is everything needs to be reeled back in. And you need to help the people around you in this aspect. You don't have to talk to them about some religious mumbo-jumbo or, debate them on religious mumbo-jumbo. Let's talk about life. Let's have the life debate. How you living? What do you want? Do you want to improve your living? And you're going to learn something today. Because I have a very important question that maybe a lot of you can answer. And there's no such thing as a wrong answer, so I would like your participation in this part. Now, when we look at our history, right, I want to look at our history from Egypt, imagine Egypt, from Egypt all the way to this side of Jordan, before the Hebrews crossed over the Jordan and became the Israelites. Now, these are the two time spans. On one side, on the left side, we have the Egypt scenario. Even this parsha brings it out. We'll read it in a minute. But then, on the right side, we have the Hebrews on this side of the Jordan. They haven't crossed over yet. Now, my question to you is this, and now imagine this, because in between that is what I want to talk about. The in-between. And you see, right now, you're blessed and so grateful to the Creator of the heavens and the universe, so grateful to the Master Yahweh, because right now, I can guarantee you, all of you are living in the in-between right now. You're living in the in-between. How many of you want to go back to the land, meaning Israel? How many of you want to go back to Israel? Anybody? Put up a capital I if that's you. Either in this life or in the next life. You want to go back to Israel. Right now, you may not be in Israel, but you do want to go back. you do want to go back to the land that, is you inherited. That's your inheritance. You should. Only one who could say no to this one would be the Kohen, because he don't have inheritance of the land. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy as hell to get back in the temple and do his duties, Baruch Hashem. And that's going to happen as well. Thank God for your responses, by the way. For those of you who are not concerned about one day being back in the land, I understand. Maybe I'm talking too fast to give you enough time to type in a one or a I. Yes, I do as well. I want to go back to the land because that's my inheritance. That's a part that's been promised to me. You see? But that's later on. I'm in another land right now. I'm in a beautiful land. How many of you can say that the land that you're in is beautiful? It's an awesome place to be. It's a super place to live. Not everybody can say that. I can guarantee you. I'm talking to you from experiences. I have family members in some lands. right now that they don't want to be, and they cannot get out. See how blessed you are already? You're blessed, Mishpah. You're truly blessed. Count your blessings and truly be grateful daily when you wake up. And you take that breath. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. Because many times we put that focus on, you start to throw the burden on yourself, and you're burdened with so many things. But right now, we're in the in-between. And that's where we need to, in-between, it's like you're in the trenches right now. You're in that foxhole. Now, if you're in that foxhole, how many of you know what a foxhole is? Because I know maybe some of the women in this room, maybe you don't watch war movies, maybe you've never been in the military, maybe you have. How many of you know what a foxhole is? Well, it's a hole that's dug. And it's dug for purposes of protection and also for purposes of retaliation. Because from wherever your vantage point, wherever you dig your foxhole, you can have a good point to deal with the enemy and to protect yourself from the enemy and to shelter you as well. Now, when you dig your foxhole, now imagine yourself, you digging your foxhole. And normally, there's two people to a foxhole. So it's you and somebody else. Now, if I ask you this question, and you're in the middle of this war right now, and you're in a battle. You're in a battle. When we talk about the in-between, I mean, you know how some folks, how many of you heard the saying, you're in between a rock and a hard place? Anybody ever heard that saying before? I hear that a lot amongst my colleagues. You know, this, oh man, I'm in between a rock and a hard place. My goodness, like, don't put that kind of burden on yourself. Come on, let's find a solution. Don't be in between a rock and a hard place, because either one of those situations don't sound too good, right? So we always, just like I do now, and you know, how Cody talks fast because he's trying to, you know, he's trying to give you so much information. He wants to give it to you. He is giving you so much information. He's not trying. And he's super excited about giving this information to the family. How many of you know that feeling? Some of you experience it within your own families. You come home with that raise, and the first thing you want to do as soon as you hit the door, you gather the family and say, look, I got a raise. And you're super happy. Everybody jumping up and down. Anybody know that experience? Or something great happens within the family, and you take it home, and you tell the family, and everybody's just super excited. Capture that feeling and hold on to it. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. And something great happens and you celebrate it with your family. Everybody jumping up and down and super excited. I tell you, I remember one time, as I look back in my life, I remember one time with the ex-wife, and she had 2 children, and we were all sitting down with big football fans, and we loved the Saints. And so we're sitting down watching the Super Bowl. I remember this just like it was yesterday. And I tell you, remember when the Saints won the Super Bowl? How do you remember that? They were playing the Colts, and I said, man, I'm thinking to myself, man, Peyton Manning is getting ready to run the clock. He's getting ready to go down here and score a touchdown. And the Saints were in the lead, and we're in the 4th quarter, and time, I think it was like 2 minutes left. How many of you remember that? Time was running out. And I'm thinking, my goodness. You know, Peyton Manning's going to take these Colts, Indianapolis Colts down here, and he's going to score another touchdown. I know you over there in the East are thinking touchdown football with soccer. No, we're talking American football. I need to clarify that because we have a lot of Eastern mindset folks in the room. And so there's less than 2 minutes left. And man, we're all sitting down in the living room. Everybody's down there biting their fingers and toenails. I'm telling you, it's like, oh, hey. And as soon as that Peyton Manning threw the football and it was intercepted, and my goodness, I think the foundation shook that day. Even Pharaoh was jumping up and down. We were super happy. That's a moment I'll never forget. I'll never forget that moment of excitement, of joy that you share with your family. That's beautiful. This is why, if you have questions, please ask them, because, you know, I want all of you to have the default setting. Free guard of peace, love, joy, happiness. That's our default settings as human beings. But we went away from that. And it's okay, because when you go away, you can come back. Christianity talks about the prodigal son. How many of you have not heard the story of the prodigal son? Catholicism talks about the prodigal son. When you go away, there's room for you to come back. But right now, we need to focus ourselves on the in-between. So, back to what I was asking about the foxhole. If it's a requirement for you to only have one person in the foxhole besides yourself in a foxhole, and you're in the middle of a war, who would you pick? Now, I'd like your response on that. Who would be the other person that you would pick to be with you in your foxhole as you're, watching for the enemy, looking to protect yourself, and your other teammates that are behind you. You're fighting for your country, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Who would be that other person that you'd want in your foxhole? I'd like some responses. It could be anybody. Torah says the Kohen, anybody else, it could be anybody. Maybe your wife, maybe your husband, maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he said, I'll be back. Who would you want in that foxhole with you? Think about that. But that's something that you may have to think about. Now, back to the in-between, when we talk about, the Hebrews in Egypt and the Hebrews on this side of Jordan that hadn't crossed over the river Jordan yet. I want to look at the in-between. And Messiah says, my mishpachah, your family. No, you can only have one person. This has to be only one person. There's only one person that you can have in that foxhole with you beside yourself. So I want to look at the in-between, that in-between space, and ask you this question right here. This is the question I want to ask you this day. Oh, your brother. Okay, my brother. Great. Great job with that. What is the purpose of the events between Egypt and this side of Jordan? This side of Jordan, before the Hebrews crossed over. Can anybody tell me, in their own opinion, what was the purpose? What was the purpose of the events between this time? Moses, the great leader, the great prophet, the greatest, the GOAT, he's the GOAT. The greatest of all time high priest, the greatest of all time teacher rabbi, the greatest of all time writer, illustrator, lawyer, litigator, counselor, Moses. Had the in-between time with the Hebrews. This in-between time. What's happening in between time? This is when we get to the grits and the greens. What was the purpose of this between time? Can anybody tell me their own opinion between Egypt and all that went on there and this side of the river Jordan? Torah says preparation. That's a good response. Anybody else? What was the purpose of this? Of what went on between all of that? Torah, you must have read my notes. What was the purpose? Any other takers? I know you're thinking. What and why the heck did Israel have to go around in circles for 40 years? Same thing, same. We had a lecture on this already. But what's the purpose of this? And Oliver says education. Awesome response. There's no such thing as a wrong answer, by the way. Don't be shy, family. Don't be shy here. Don't be shy. You're learning. You come here to learn. You come here to get instruction so that we can go out and we can execute. I'm telling you, this is all going to come together in a minute. I think we think alike because we're in Texas. These Texans, you got to watch them Texans. Lion President says it was a time of cleansing, creating a new nation. Yes, it was. They were unfaithful. What was the purpose of this time when Moses, as the leader of the Hebrews, taking them out of Egypt and usher them right to the finish line? Hadn't crossed them over yet, but they're right at the finish line. What was the purpose in all that? Yeah, they went against Moses, but what was the purpose of this long period in between time? Because there's a lot of time that passed here. What was the purpose? And I don't want to focus too much on the time factor because I really don't care about time. Time for me is now. But what was the purpose of this time frame? What was the purpose of the in-between behind the parameters that were set? Egypt and this side of the river Jordan. What was the purpose? What was the purpose for the people? Why? You ever wonder about that? The Messiah says they were unfaithful. Adia says disobeyed. But think about this for a minute. Not all of them disobeyed, and not all of them were unfaithful, right? When we look at the family. Because this is one big family. One big family with some with some additions. You see what I'm saying? To test and prove them. They needed time to detach from the old paradigms. Okay, that's a good response. Getting them right before entering the land that was promised. That's good. Shabbat shalom to you. The generation that would go in, would be ready. Wow, good responses. To God for your responses, by the way. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Because all of these are great responses. There's no such thing as a wrong response. It's just your response, your opinions. And we all have them. Thank God. And thank God that all our opinions are not the same. Thank God. These are very, very important things that I want you to understand. Now, I want to go back to what... Look, now we're going to go into the Parsha for a minute. We're going to read from the Parsha. Again, Abrahamic Faith Bible. If you don't have it, please go get this Bible. The Abrahamic Faith Bible. This Bible is going to help you tremendously in your understanding, in your growing, and in your learning as human beings. This is truly going to help you. Get it on Amazon. You can get it on Lulu. It's truly going to help you. Add it to your other Bibles. You may say, well, I already have many Bibles. Well, add this one to it. It'll be a great addition. The greatest addition. And to me, this is the GOAT of all Bibles. It's the greatest of all time Bibles that you'll ever have. I'm telling you. Add it to your library. Put it on your shelf. What we want to do is we want to read from Deuteronomy. We're going to start reading in chapter 7, verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass, if you listen to my voice, to these judgments, and guard and do them, that Yahweh your power will guard you into the covenant and unmerited favor which he swore to your avot. I want you to take, we're going to come back on it. Let's just keep going. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. And he will also bless you with many children and the fruit of your land, your wheat, your wine, your oil, the offspring of your oxen, your flocks, your sheep, and the land which he swore to your avot, your fathers, to give you. Look at verse 14. You shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be a male or female barren among you or among your cattle. Thank you, Master God. Verse 15. And Yahweh will take away from you all sicknesses, and will put none of the evil diseases of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, which you know about, but will lay them upon all them that hate you. Wow. So why are we over here trying to get, trying to get revenge? Don't need to. Verse 16. And you shall conquer all the people which Yahweh your power shall give you. Your eyes shall have no pity upon them. We're conquerors, Mishpahah. We're not winklings. We're not little winklings over here. Yeah, you see the little kitty meow, meow, but the little kitty, the little Simba can turn into Lion King on you real quick. Turn into Mufasa on you real quick. For you Lion King lovers like I am. You shall have no pity on them. Oh, I just feel so sorry for Rabbi. No. You're a conqueror. Neither shall you serve their powers, for that will be a trap for you. Wow! How many of you fell for that trap one time or another? Look at verse 17. If you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Verse 18. You shall not be afraid of them. Wow. So there was even fear factor back then. Fear is nothing new, by the way, Mishpah. It's an old instrument that's always trying to raise its head. This is nothing new here. This is an old instrument, fear. But since you've been with me, and I know you left fear behind. Fear is in the windshield. Because you're too busy running with faith, right? Let's just finish verse 18 there of Deuteronomy chapter 7. You shall not be afraid of them, but shall, listen to this, but shall well remember what Yahweh your power did to Pharaoh and to all Mitzrayim. I'm stopping right there. Let me stop there because that's just jam-packed. I tell you what, some of you should start getting goosebumps if you don't have them. I'm telling you, that just really excited me. It gave me goosebumps like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to do. Now, back to the question that I asked you, to God for your responses, by the way. Now, what I see when I see with Moses taking the children of Israel from this Mitzrayim that's talked about right here and bringing them right to the very tip of the promise that was promised to them. They're there. The promise is going to happen. The promise is written. It's going to happen. It's promised by the creator of the heavens and the universe, by the Master Yahweh himself. This is promised, so it's going to happen. Time is irrelevant. But a lot of folks that were, hooked up on the time factor, these are probably some of the same ones that missed it. Oh, take it too long, blah, 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 blah. Because they want things yesterday. They want things yesterday. But again, it goes back to the question that I asked all of you. It's like, well, why? The in-between Egypt and this side of the river Jordan. Why? Why this? Why did Moses have to, direct and guide these people for so long? And when were they ready? And how did you know that they were ready? Do you understand? I mean, like, okay, why didn't you wait another 40 years? I mean, what was the prerequisite for being ready to go cross over Jordan? You see? A lot of things going on here. But at the end of the day, it's all about this right here, Mishpah. This has really helped me understand, really helped me continue to understand, our rich heritage and truly the way we live life. The way of life we live as Hebrews. Torah, you were right on it. We have the same frequency going on right now. It's all about preparation. And everything that all the rest of you said, you can sum it all up in that one word, preparation. The Hebrews had to be prepared. Now, I want you to juxtapose that with 2019. August 24th. Now, I want to tell you this. Do you understand that you have to prepare for a blessing? You have to prepare for blessing. The blessing may be there, but do you understand that you must prepare for it? This has been the word of the week for me. Prepare. And I hang my hat on every word that Kohen tells me, because we speak a lot during the week. We converse. And another PowerPoint word for me this week was baby steps. You see, preparation, you see. Do you understand that you have to prepare for blessing? If you didn't learn anything about the in-between between Egypt and this side of the river Jordan, you should understand this. You prepare. How many of you get it now? Like maybe I got you, the light bulb came up, you have that aha moment. You must prepare. Many folks can run around here and give you air blessings. They say, oh, I bless. But when you look at their life, there's no physical manifestation of blessing. But they say it. You see, because blessing, it's already there, but you got to prepare for it. What do you think the Kohen's been doing these last couple of, what is it? This started like towards like December. My goodness, it's been a while. Beginning of January, maybe? He's been preparing you step by step. Preparation. You must prepare. Now, everybody with me on this? Now, it's very important that you understand this prepping. You said, it's November last year. You got to understand this, Israel family. It's very important that you get this. Mother Wisdom, the Imhochma, been speaking to me this week about this prep. You got to prepare. You got to prepare. I'm telling you. And a lot of you say, well, Rabbi, I've been prepared. No, you haven't. You've been preparing, but you haven't been preparing correctly. And this is why we're going to do this right now. This is why we're going to do this right now. It's so important that you prepare. Anybody want to start a business, what do they have to do? The business just starts up all by itself? No, that's preparation. Anybody want to be successful at anything they want to do, what do they have to do? Prepare. You want to participate in the Olympics? You must prepare. You want to be that super Captain America soldier, G.I. Joe and all that? You must what? Prepare. You should not go up to the officer and say, yeah, my name is G.I. Joe. Give me a gun and let's get to it. Oh, I'm Rambo and I'm going to come in here and annihilate everybody for you. No, you must prepare. These talks that's going on with these multi-nation talks and so-called trade war with China, what do they have to do? To negotiate, make a deal, you have to prepare. That's what they're preparations. They got to prepare, okay, I'm going to give this, you give this, we're going to meet here somewhere in the middle, blah, 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 blah. You want a relationship, a marriage, guess what you have to do? You have to prepare. Right? You want that husband, you better prepare for that husband. You want that wife, you better prepare for that wife. Now, I'm telling you, I'm really beginning to see after I do. See, I was doing it, I'm telling you that. Isn't that our pattern? We do it, and then we understand what we were doing later on. But we were already doing it. That's our heritage, by the way, as Hebrews. We do it, and then we come back and realize, oh, wow, that's what I was doing. That's what it meant, what I was doing and why I was doing it. But we're already doing it. Just didn't understand what we were doing. I can guarantee you right now, I bet you there's somebody in this room besides myself can say, you know, all of this instruction that we're getting on how to prepare properly, because at the end of the day, when you sum it up in one statement, HaKohen is preparing you for your blessing. Do you not understand that? Or your blessings? Do you all get that? Put up a capital B if you get what I just said. All this instruction that you're getting is the Kohen preparing you for your blessing. Do you understand that? I hope you get it. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Oliver put up a P. What is that? P for Paul? Little jokey joke there, Oliver. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, you must understand this, but again, you truly must understand is that HaKohen is preparing you with the instruction. He's preparing you for your blessings. Because at the end of the day, your desires, your wants, your dreams, your imaginations are what? Are your blessings. Aren't they? Think about that for a minute. You see, now blessing has you got meat on it. It's like you got this rib bone. You got this beef rib bone, and you just take it off the pit. What bone are you going to take? You have two bones on the barbecue pit. You know, we in Texas, we love barbecue. And believe me, we have a lot of cattle as well in Texas. But you know, you got your rib bones, you got your barbecue going, and you got your ribs on. You got two bones on the barbecue pit. One of them has meat on it. The other one is just the bone. Now, I'm pretty sure Pharaoh, my dog, will favor the bone. He can give a flying flute about the meat, but I may have to put that to the test because, man, Pharaoh, you know, he likes meat. He's a meat eater. But even Pharaoh, my dog, he'll probably prefer having a bone with some meat on it, right? And that's what you want. We're getting to the meat and potatoes here of what's going on here. The blessing. Now you really understand what blessing really is. Blessing to one person may not be blessing to another. Because they have another blessing that they want. They have dreams, imaginations, desires, wants. These are your blessings, but you must be prepared for them. You must be prepared. Now, underprepared, there's sub-levels that we got to get into. Because some of you may be thinking, well, I have been preparing. And let me get back to that question. I know somebody in this room beside myself. You know, with the instruction that the Kohen has been given, how many of you have already had these things in your home and in the location. Let's just talk about the bed, for instance. How many of you already had your bed already in that direction, and you didn't even know it? That's an example of it. How many of you already had elephants in your house, didn't even know it? Or a camel in your house, didn't even know it? You see, this is what I'm talking about. You were already doing it before you knew what the doing was doing to do it. Why to do it? If that makes any sense. Hope I didn't talk too fast. But do you see it? I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing when you can begin to connect the dots and understand. Yeah, everybody says blessing in the air, but what is blessing on the ground? What is blessing in action? And you need this proper action, all about preparation. You need to prepare, every one of you family. You need to prepare for your blessing. And until you prepare properly for your blessing, then the blessings will never come. I don't care. You can say blessing, blessing, blessing until you're blue in the face. But it's not, at the end of the day, that's not going to help you attract. Reel in, as Rabbi Zakar says, reel in the things that you want, the thing that you desire, the thing that's going to make you happy and give you peace and give you joy and fill you with love. See, I was just taking notice, as student of nature, of just the people that would fly in here and fly out, listening to a few Hakoin's words, and then they just leave. Oh, we did it. Because they would hear, oh, thou must doest this and doest that. Hallelujah. Because they wasn't hearing that, then they out of here like yesterday's Kool-Aid. They're just gone. Oh, and thou must doest, brother. No, because you see, these are folks that are air blessers. They're getting the blessings. They're just in the air. Oh, I need you to make me feel good. I don't want nothing that's going to concentrate on my family. I want you to tell me how I'm going to get to heaven. You understand what I mean? This religious mindset. And they'll float in and float out. Sometimes they'll leave a message. You've seen them. I know you've been monitoring. You've been watching the board. You see people coming here. And sometimes they'll leave a little comment. But when they start talking about, the grits and the greens, about how this instruction can benefit your life now and what you need to do right now, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to deal with now. And you leave them to it. I'm not going to give them much energy. But I just want you all to know that. See, because there's a big difference between those that are truly going to understand the abundance of a life and what that really means, opposed to those that are just going to chase it. They're going to chase it, abundance, they're going to chase blessings, but never get to the grits and the grains and connect the dots. Okay, well, what is a blessing? What is a blessing for me? You see? What is that? And then you just have to leave these people to it. You see an example of folks that may be friends of yours, family members of yours, or even loved ones of yours as well. That same thing. And you see, another point I'd like to make. I hear what Akoin is saying when he says he's here for Israel. Not being selfish, but that's just a fact. Because let's look at it. Look what we just read in our books. Let's take a look at it. We just read it. And it's just a fact. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 14. And you shall be blessed above all people. Wow. How many of you feel that right now? That you are blessed above all people. So you shouldn't have to be looking at the Joneses and saying, oh, I want what the Joneses have. You already have it now. You blessed above all people. That's in our books, Hebrews. You see, and now what Hakoin is doing is he's connecting the dots to your blessings. This is how you do it. You see, you must prepare. All of us right now, we're in a preparation mode. But let me break that down. Let's break it down a little bit here, because it's very important. Don't get fearful. Have faith now. You got to put fear in the rear view. Have faith. Begin to believe in what you desire. Begin to believe in happiness, and you have it now. Begin to believe in love. You want that relationship? Believe. You got to believe that you have it now. Don't run in fear and put up these firewalls. Rabbi, I can't get another relationship. Oh, I can't do that. That last man, he hurt me. That woman, Rabbi, she took everything I had. I'm not ever getting another. You see, you put up the firewalls. So it's a faith. You got to believe that you can find that woman exactly like you want her, and you'll find her. Rukashim. But you see, the heart won't get it, but the head will. We just read a verse in our parsha as well. It's spot on. Because the first thing associated with fear, look what it says in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 17. If you shall say in your heart, Torah doesn't say, it says, and you shall say in your head. You see, for us, get to the grits and the grease. Most people, this is where it tells them is that they think with their heart. Their heart, they're full of emotions. You just say, emotional ball, you know. If you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I. You shall say in your heart, oh, I can't have what the Joneses have. When? You throw a little pretty pad, temper tantrum, you put your thumb in your mouth, I want what the Jones. Why I don't have it, God? These nations are more than I. Oh, I can't be a billionaire. Why not? Oh, because the white man said, I'm this, I'm that. The white man keeping me down. You say again, you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I. How can I dispossess them? Then verse 18 goes on to say, you shall not be afraid of them. Whatever nation you have before you right now, don't be afraid of it. Nation can come in the form of a woman, a man, a job. You don't have to fear. You just have to believe that you can be what you want to be, what you want, what you desire. You got to believe it. This is why your visualization is so important. You got to put it in the real. First person, in the real, HD quality, and all that. You got to put it in the real, Mishpah. And it will be. Don't let your heart tell you it can't happen. When Kohen told me, oh, you're gonna go to the east and you're gonna get a wife, and you're gonna have a son, you need to start having. I'm like, my goodness, my heart was like, man, this stuff is. I couldn't see, the road for the trees. See, because your heart will fail, your heart will tell you, well, no, that means I'm gonna have to leave this wife. I can't have no children with this woman. Oh man, I pity her. Because I've been the best thing to her next to sliced bread. And now I gotta leave. No, I didn't fall back. I want to have a family. That's what I want. But I was too busy trying to get everybody else what they wanted. And I rejected myself. The worst thing I could do is try to help everybody else meet their marks and I'm not meeting mine. What is that at the end of the day? And it's not selfishness. I can guarantee it to you. It's not being selfish. So I had to flip the script. I had to change. Preparation for me took many years when it came to relationship. How many of you are there as well? It took many years. It took 3-4 years after what I call in. No, it's longer than that. Yeah, it took close to 5 years after what I call he told me in my living room here in my house. 5 years to get that relationship, and even longer for the baby to come, for my son to come. Preparation, because I had to be prepared. I had to be ready. I had to prepare. And I enjoy every minute of it. I'm enjoying every minute of preparation. You see? You are blessed above all people. Then why are you running around here, looking at the others and desiring and wanting what they want when you have it already? You're there. But you must prepare for the blessing. What the Kohen is doing with us all today. You see? Our Kohen says when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. And when the house is ready, the blessings will come. So do you see the order? Israel is a family. So again, what do you think in 2019 we should have? Families, right? We should have a family as well. Everybody in this room running around here calling family, family, family. But do you have a family? You see, you got to start at the ground rule. You got to start at the roof first and build the foundation properly. The foundation starts with the family. Am I correct? Now, I'm not knocking you if you don't have a family right now, but consider that needs to be, top of the line when it comes to your affirmations, is that you want a family. How many of you want a family now? You want a family right now. Anybody in this room? That's an affirmation. That's part of your visualizations. You need to see that now. That's very important. When you come from the family of Jacob, don't you think it's kind of hypocritical to say that you come from the family of Jacob, yet you're not in a relationship and you don't have a family? That's not meeting the criteria, the baseline criteria. You got to prepare for that. And sometimes, I'm going to tell you right now, it takes years. It'll take years. But that's okay, because you're going through the experience. It's a big experience, and you gain in so much wisdom and knowledge and understanding in particular areas that you're dealing with in your situations. And it's making you stronger, wiser. And now you're becoming better at making decisions, you see. I'll tell you, this is beautiful stuff. Our way of life is so beautiful. It's the best way that anybody can ever live. Now, when we look at preparations, Torah, as Torah said, a preparation, I want to break that word down into prep. And with the word prep, there's a little acronym thing here. Prep. The first part of prep is the P. Can anybody guess what the P's for in prep? With my little acronym I came up with, prep. The P. Can anybody want to take a guess? What does the P stand for, Rabbi? What is this P? I have to go pee-pee? No, not until you go to the bathroom. What does this P stand for? When you look at the in-between time, there's Israel coming out of Egypt, when the Hebrews coming out of Egypt to the Hebrews on this side of the river Jordan, Moses instructed Israel. I thought good answer. Place. Good answer. Anybody else take us on the P? Moses was instructing Israel on the what? On the plan. First step is that you got to have a plan. That's preparation. The P in prep is plan. What's your plan? What do you want? What do you desire? Your plan. How many of you in this room have a plan? Oh, I'm getting excited because this is good stuff. Because I'm living prep. I live prep. I am prep. Look at him. How many of you in this room, you have a plan right now? You have a plan. Israel, Moshe in this parsha, he was telling Israel the plan. Israel had a plan. I'm telling you this stuff. You've got to have a plan. That's the first step. Plan, believe in your plan, but you got to have a plan. You just can't be out here willy-nilly. You got to have that plan, and that plan is etched in stone. You tattooing it on your father, but you got a plan. And nobody can take the plan away from you. You got to have a plan. In prep, the first step, the P in prep is plan. Now, you don't have to go around divulging your plan to Billy Bob and everybody. Your name Billy Bob, no offense. Susan and Jane and all that, and Sammy. You don't have to tell them all your plan, but you need to know your plan. You need to have your plan down. It's got to be down. And what's another thing for planning? What the Kohen he's teaching? I'm telling you, all of this is he's prepping you. He's preparing you for your blessings. Now, with what our Kohen has been teaching you, can anybody tell me what the plan part be? Is that not your vision board? How many of you have a vision? Put up a capital V if you have a vision board in your house right now. You have a vision board and you're looking at it. Say, Rabbi, this is my vision board. You have a vision board in your house right now. Put up a V if that's you. V for vision. That's your plan. Your vision board is your plan. What do you want? What do you desire? You see, we're talking about, meeting our marks. We're mark makers. You got to have that's the first step. In your plan, you got to have, that's your vision board. That's your plan. And you look at that thing every day. You see it in the morning. You see it when you come home from work. You see it at noontime. Your plan is in your face. That's your plan. That's your plan. That's your plan. Because your heart will try to pull you in different directions. Believe me. Don't be hoodwinked and bamboozled. See, because when you get weak and you start feeling fearful of your plan, go back and look to it. Because your heart will tell you, oh, man, that can never happen. I can never have that. I'm looking at my board. Oh, I can never have those things on my board. How is that going to happen? So what with the how? You just need to believe. You need to believe in self. Your subconscious. You need to believe. Your heart will tell you you can't do it. Can't be done. Don't have enough money. I'm too ugly. I'll never get that man. They call me the ugly duckling. Well, is that what you believe? Then that's what you'll be. Believe your plan. That's your vision board. You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. What's your plan? Now, if you need assistance with your plan, you can get with the Cody and he'll help you fine-tune your plan. Plans can always be fine-tuned. Know that. Take that to head, take it to heart. Head first. Many folks, unfortunately, they dive in heart first. But you need to dive in head first. Just imagine you're in a swimming pool and you're on that diving board. You know how some people do the belly flop? That would be diving in with the heart first. But you need to dive in head first. You dive into your plan. To offer your responses, by the way, hey, listen, if you don't have your vision board, please get you one. Invest, circulate money in a vision board and begin to fill that vision board with your wants, your thoughts, your dreams, your desires, all that, your happiness, what will bring you peace, what will bring you joy. That's very important. You know, we're in a political high season now because we're coming up next year. It's still going to be next year. We're coming up on the presidential election. And all my colleagues ask me, hey, Lamont, what are you? They're a Republican. I said, no, I'm a part of the Green Party. They're like, Green Party? Yeah. My party is the almighty dollar. I'm part of the Green Party. That's my party, the almighty dollar. They're like, wow. I said, well, what are you thinking about? I said, my mind is on my money and my money is on my mind. That's what I tell them. Well, I can't remember today what that song is. There used to be a rap song about that. But my mind is on my money and my money is on my mind. That's what I'm talking. I got time for no party. Yeah, what party? What's your party? I said, I'm part of the Green Party. I'm part of the Almighty Dollar Party. I got that from one of my mentors. I'm part of the Almighty Dollar Party. You see? That's what's important to me. I love money. And money loves me. And we have a friendship that's going to last forever. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I'm telling you, my mind is on my money and my money's on my mind, man. I wake up thinking about money. I'm telling you. Dollar signs. I go to bed. Dollar signs. Remember how Queen taught us? Sleep on it. I sleep on that, man. Come on, man. This is real business here. This is real life. Well, you're not supposed to love money. Who said that? That's what the Christian mumbo jumbo will tell you. I'm not trying to live in nobody's refrigerator box. I'm living in mansions. Now, not later. So this is what you must understand. It's so very important to understand that while they're fighting over this, that, the other, and the third. Now, what is that? What party? I don't care who's in there. You know what? How many of you heard what President Trump said these past 6 days of labor? He was in, did you all see what he did? He was in and I love that he loves to talk to the media, and he let the people know what's going on, how he's thinking. But he actually looked up towards the heavens and he said, I am the chosen one. How many of you saw that? He looked up to the heavens, he raised his hands up, he said, I am the chosen one to deal with China. I was like, wow, Rukashim. He is the chosen one for this time. See, heavens know what heavens is doing. We're only supposed to lift up our leaders. Wherever country are you in? Because they're chosen for this time. But they seem to be like the only thought. I need to watch that. He actually looked up towards the heavens, raised his hands in the middle, and he said, I am the chosen one for this, to deal with this China situation. I'm like, wow, Rukashim, claim it. Can't be mad at the president for claiming it. I could be that mad at the president. I tell you. He said it just like your message. Hey, there's another witness in the watch. It's not just me. You can go look this up and see the video for yourself. The man looked up towards the heavens. I am the chosen one. I was like, great. You too, Israel family. That's what Moses was telling the family, the Hebrews. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 14. You shall be blessed above all people. Oh, that's being, you can be a haughty. No, it's not. That's not being naughty either. That's just what it is. That's the facts. Now, how do you use that? Because being blessed above all people requires a lot of responsibility. You have to know what you're doing. This is why you must prepare, because you're representing the family. You must prepare, Mishpah. Get your vision board if you don't have it. That's a must. You gotta have a vision board. You got to have the vision board. That's the start. Everybody want to get to the finish, but nobody want to start. That's the. I love every part of the process. I tell you, I love those alone years. I spent many alone years in this house with just me and Pharaoh. No wife, no daughter, no baby on the way. It's just me and Pharaoh. Because I got to know myself. I got to love myself. I got to understand in these quiet moments. Even though I have more folks in the house now, my family's here, it's still quiet in the house. And my wife appreciates that. And she shows gratitude for quietness. Because China is a different scene. Night and day, honking, cars on. I tell you, I never heard so many car honks before. I don't know if it's like that in Pakistan, but I mean, just car blowing their horns on. I was like, my goodness, what is this? Middle of the night, honk, honk, daytime, honk, everybody has to have their hand on the horn. I'm like, my goodness. So it makes you appreciate home, and when you go back home, it's just peaceful and quiet, and you're driving down the thoroughfares here, and nobody's honking their horn unless there's, legitimate emergency or somebody got a little road rage. But I'm telling you, continuous honking, I was like, my goodness, I can't wait to get home. I was like, I cannot wait to get home. You begin to appreciate and show gratitude for the things that you have when you're not in that surrounding, that environment anymore. It truly makes you, this is why travel is such a good thing. And I would encourage you all to put that on your vision board, is that you want to travel and see this wonderful world that you have dominion over. Make that a part. Well, you see, there you go, your heart already tells, I can't travel. I don't even have a passport. You see what I mean? Put it on your vision board. Believe it. No good for you to have a plan if you don't even believe it. It's for you no good whatsoever for you to have a plan, a vision board, yet you don't believe your board. Everything that you have on your board, you don't even believe it. Because you're so in fear. Oh, I can never do that. And you talk yourself out of your blessings. You're Israel. You're blessed above all people. That's what Moses wrote. That's in our books. That's fact. Not fiction. Well, why is that? Because you don't believe it. Everybody else, Joseph believe it. Kazari and Jews believe it. But you don't believe it. Don't let that don't believe it be you. You believe. Don't let you of little faith, don't let that be you, as the Master Yeshua said. Don't be you of little faith. Be you of much faith. Of much belief. This is why it gets personal, because you have to believe in what you want. That's when belief is real. What good is it for me to believe that I want to drive a Chevy Tahoe when I don't want to drive a Chevy Tahoe? I'm not going to have no belief in that. You understand what I'm saying? But, you put a Range Rover there. I believe I believe I can drive a Range Rover. I believe I can drive a Range Rover. But somebody else might have on their vision board that Chevy Tahoe. Baruch Hashem. If that's what you want, Chevy Tahoe, Denali, GMC. Baruch Hashem. I know my man works, I think you work at GM. Shane, y'all want to do a shout out to you. What's one of your vehicles you have on there, Shane, y'all? If you want to text one in for me. Yeah, one of his vehicles as well, because I won't leave him out. He's designing them babies. Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Shane, y'all. But anyway, whatever you like, whatever kind of vehicle whatever you want. First step in the prep is you have to plan. Need help with your planning? Please contact the Kohen. You can go through Abrahamic-faith.info. Connect with the Kohen. He'll help you with your plan, help you fine-tune your plan, give you some instruction. Shane, y'all says the Yukon and the Tahoe for 2021. Baruch Hashem. Shane, y'all got his name on some stuff. That's great. I'm telling you. Super happy for you, Shane, y'all. Super excited. got to have vision. Shane, I tell you, with his job, you have to have some kind of imagination, vision. I'm telling you, you have to see things that are not as though they are. And then you sketch that on paper. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, tell y'all. Now he's taking that into a field of his own. Now he's branching out. Look at him, that's great. He has those talents and abilities to do those kind of things. And he's using his talents and abilities in what he likes, what he wants, what he desires, that's going to make him happy. Now, if anything on your vision board, everything on your vision board should make you happy, should give you peace, should give you joy. I'm telling you, I look at my vision board, money's all on my vision board because that makes me happy. It gives me peace, it gives me joy. That's just me. What did I tell y'all? My mind is on my money and my money's on my mind. That's me. How many of you are part of the Green Party? The almighty dollar. The almighty dollar. I'm a part of the Green Party, baby. Maybe I ought to start a little political. I'm part of the Green Party, baby. I'm Green Party. That's what I'm about. What's the Green Party? The almighty dollar. That's my party. And we party together a lot. So again, you've got to have a plan. Prep. The P in prep is plan. Let's go to the next one. What's our next one we have on our list here? Now, after prep, the R. Can anybody imagine what the R is? Anybody want to take a guess what the R in prep is? First, we have the P for prep. The R is for what? You must react. The R is react. You see, the Hebrews coming out of Egypt, before they crossed over to Jordan, would anybody disagree that there's a lot of reaction going on? Positive and negative, but there was a lot of reaction. Israel reacted to every situation. You all are going to have situations and experiences over the years. You have to learn how to react. Sometimes our reactions get us into trouble. How many of you have been there, done that? You reacted and it was in the wrong way. But you need to learn how to react in the right way. Reaction. You got a plan, now you have to react to your plan. Okay, I got this plan. Vision board is up. What do I need to do? Do you understand why the Kohen is so pivotal in your life? You want to go out, Pharaoh? Do you understand why? Come on, go see Mom. Pharaoh got to take a body break. Go see Mom. Go, boy. I tell you. Pharaoh 10 going on 2. I'm telling you. Young whippersnapper. Spry in his step, I tell you. So it's very, very important that you understand that. Is that you got to react. Now, here's the thing. Reaction is key. Reaction is key. Because how do you react to your plan is going to dictate if your plan is going to even come into fruition. Proper reaction. Well, what are you doing? Are you doing your visualization from your vision board? Are you doing your scripting? You see, our Kohen is preparing you for your blessing. Do you not? I'm still breaking all this down. And believe it or not, Bishop Bahar, I'm going to tell you, this is fact. This came to me from the Imhokma this morning. I was giving Pharaoh his dog food. You know, I'm making organ meats. Boy, I tell you, Pharaoh gets it. He gets his organ meats all mixed up together with, blueberries and ginger, and it's all blended. I'm telling you, our Kohen, Pharaoh is been the most loyal to me, and he's being rewarded for it. He's been, and longevity-wise, the most loyal person in my life. A dog. And so guess what? His loyalty is being rewarded. So I'm down there making Pharaoh's, special meal, and Hokma just shoots this out to me. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. So I got to react to it. I was planning on going a whole other direction, but the Hokma just this morning. You got to prepare. You got to prepare. Everything that the Kohen is doing is preparing for your blessings. Everything. You do this, do it. You see, if you here's where reaction comes in. If our Kohen says, okay, let's talk about his lecture today. He said, okay, everybody go get you a camel and put it in your house. And what direction did he say put that camel in, Atara? Tara, you remember that direction he gave you? What direction did he want camel in? He wanted it put in the west, right? I think you had that question. Put your camel in the west. There you go, Tara. You see, that's the plan. How come he gave you the plan? Now, that's the P. The next is the R. How you going to react? How many of you going to go get a camel this week? Don't tell me. You don't have to put up all that. But how many of you going to do it? You need to go do it. That's the reaction. If you don't react on what was planned, then we can't go any further with the prayer. And then that's why some folks don't see anything going further in their life. Do you get it? This is a beautiful thing when you begin to understand that. Because this system plays out time and time again in your life already. You just didn't know it. We're just tagging it now, you see? We're connecting the dots, Oliver. We're connecting the dots. We're putting it together. Isn't it beautiful? Many times we just run around here saying, blessing, blessing, blah, blah, blah. But, religion never gave me no preparation. It never gave me no prayer. No plan. Oh, I just follow rules. I don't need no plan. You just do what everybody else is doing. How's that working out for you? Well, what's working out for me too good? Excuse me. Get a little sip of tea there. But it wasn't working out for me all that well, Miss Bahar. I'm pretty sure it wasn't working out for you either. That's why you moved on. You turned the page. Now you're here. Give gratitude and give thanks. Now at home, you're not done yet. You're just getting started, family. Some of you just want to sit on your laurels. There's no time for that. You're too busy trying to live life. You're not sitting on your laurels. You need to have your mind on your money and your money on your mind if you like money. Some of you don't like money. You don't love money. That's okay. But I do. How many of you with the Green Party? I mean, I do. Because I understand how money can bring happiness, joy, love, not only to my life, but those that are around me. Because guess what? I don't get money, just keep it. I let it flow. I've been watching this stuff going on over there in Hong Kong. And they come up with this slogan that Bruce Lee said. He said, you must be like water. They're using that slogan. And that slogan, I'm telling you, that's some wisdom in that when you be on many different levels to it. Many, many, many different levels. Many, many different levels. You must be like water. You must flow. You flow. You need to flow. Sometimes water needs to do what? Change direction. When they put a barrier up to where water can't flow, what does water do? Water's going to find a way to go around, right? You need to be like water, Miss Bahar. Taking Bruce Lee's phrase. What an awesome phrase. What an awesome statement. Be like water. Be like water. Almost still coming in. Somehow you may want to reboot, but be like water. So you got to react. You must react, but your reaction's got to be proper. Go out and get that camel. Camper, you better go get it this week, and then you got to react. To top of that, I'm still coming in. To top. You got to react. So first we plan, then we react. You see, reaction is a crucial stage. Because if you never react, we can't go on to the next step. The E. We get on to E if we don't do the R. And if we don't have a P, then what good is the E? Hope you will be on this, but yeah, I mean, come on. The E. What's the E? Well, you say, well, dang, what's the E? We got the reaction. What do we have to do after we react? Then you have to evaluate. Evaluate. E has two parts to it. See, you have to evaluate. You sit back. Okay, now you got the plan, you got the reaction. Now you sit back and evaluate. This is physical presentation on the ground. You see? You got to evaluate. To top of that, Hakomi, you got to evaluate. Well, what's happening? Anything happening? Some of you are at that stage right now. You're like, okay, I did what Rabbi Kefa said. I got my plan. Vision board is up. I'm reacting. I'm going out and buying all the necessaries that the Kohe's telling me, instructing me to get, putting them in my house, this location. I'm doing this. Everything has its location. Now you see, and now you're at that evaluation stage. You're like, okay, well, I did that. Nothing's happening yet. But I'm going to continue to do the P and the R. I'm going to continue to plan, continue to react. But still, I'm just waiting on some. And believe me, it's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come. Hakohen gave a great illustration of that with the woman in the East. He was telling you this true story, changing up the characters a little bit. But this woman, well, where's my husband this month? My husband not out yet. Hey, did you hear anything? Nope, not this month. Keep waiting. I didn't hear anything yet this month. So you wait. You have patience. You have a lot of patience. Why? It's because you're blessed above all people. You have a lot of patience. But you wait. But then you realize, okay, in your evaluation, okay, you start to see some things happen. Maybe you don't see anything happen. If you don't start seeing anything happening, because there's going to be some changes, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Then you want to use this other E, this other part of E. You evaluate, and then sometimes you may have to go back and equip yourself with some more tools. That's when you go to the Kohen, and he'll equip you and give you some more instruction that you need to react upon to help you, evaluation come through. To help the facilitate plan being ticked off. You see what I mean? And it's going to happen. I'm telling you, it will happen because you believe it's going to happen. With your plan, you believe in your plan. And nobody come Shiloh or Sheol can tell you that your plan is not going to go down. Man, I believed I was going to have a son. I believed it. My Kohen told me, you're going to have a son. I believed it. I believed it. Now, did I know it was going to take me getting on the plane and going to communist China to get it? I mean, you can't dream. You can't write this stuff up. I knew I was going to go to the East, but I didn't know I was going into communist China, saying, y'all, I didn't know that. I had no clue I was going into communist China. You kidding me? That's beyond what my heart could take. But my head understood it. And I dove in head first. I didn't dive in with the heart, because if I had dove in with the heart, my wife and daughter from China wouldn't be here right now. Because my heart would have told me, no, you just keep it local. Go to the east side of San Antonio. That's what my heart would have said. You go to the east, let me go over there to Florida. That's east of Texas. Let me go to New York. That's east. No. Bigger picture. And I'm reaping the blessings for that daily, hourly, every minute. Because of the decision that was made. You see, all of this preparation is going to help you make great decisions. So if you evaluate, you're in that evaluation mode, and nothing happened, then you may want to go equip yourself with some more tools to help the plan come out. Equipping yourself with more tools means going to the Kohen, and he'll give you more things so that you can react on them. You all with me, Ms. Paul? Prep is very important. Preparation is key. I want you all to understand that. Take this and run with it. Use it. And then the final prep, the final, word in prep, the letter is P. And that P is very important. And not the PP, but just the P. Not the PPP either, but just the P. This P is for positivity. To be positive. You have to be careful of this. You don't want to fail with your plan. And failure will come because most people don't stay positive. They get negative risk. And then that just total disaster to the rest of the prep. If you get negative. If you begin to see, if you don't stay positive, it'll sabotage your plan. Sabotage. I think that's a French word, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. That may be a French word, Ali, but I'm not sure. Or when equal, you may be able to tell. But I think sabotage is a French word, if I'm not mistaken. But you don't want to sabotage your plan. And sabotaging your plan is for you to get negative. You must stay positive when you plan. See, and what will help you stay positive with your plan is that you believe in your plan. And nobody can tell you that your plan is not going to happen. You cannot have that mansion. You cannot have that beautiful luxury car. You cannot drive that Range Rover. You cannot have all this money in the bank. 7-figure salaries, billionaire. You cannot. Nobody can tell you you cannot do it. But you must follow a plan. You must believe in your plan. And you must stay positive. Positivity is key. You can't walk around here like an angry bird and expect yourself to be able to attract anything positive in your life. You heard the saying, what you take in is what will come out. You are what you eat. That's heavy, and that's true. You are what you eat. When you eat a bunch of negativity, what do you think will come out of you but negativity? Don't be a magnet for negativity. He's preparing you. He's already prepared you. He's giving you the instruction on how to get the negativity away from you. But again, you must react. That's important. You must heed the instruction and react, and then evaluate. And then if things still ain't right, then go back and equip yourself with some more instruction so you can react again. And through the whole process of prep, stay positive. Don't be afraid of the word no. Many successful people in life will tell you they've been told no thousands of times, but it only takes one yes. So what? You've been told no. You keep asking. But because it only takes one yes. Do you get it, Mishpahah? Oh, well, Rabbi, they told me no. So what? Go to somebody else. Go to somebody else. And eventually you'll get a yes. But you must stay positive. How many of you right now will say, I am positive? I am positive. I say it in my affirmations. I am positive energy. They're like, oh, you just too loud. Oh, that's great. I'm sorry. I love life. That's what I tell them. I'm in the hospital, they're all bed. I love life. And they know it now. They feel it. They hear the energy. It just comes in dominating. Bringing joy and bringing laughter. Bringing, just infusing life everywhere I go. That's what I want to do. I'm positive energy. And that's just my makeup. My character is like that. That's just me. That's who I am. So you can't tell me to stop being positive. I don't know nothing else. I don't know. That other stuff is foreign to me. I don't know that. Oh, they get ready to do it. So what? I'm going to be positive through it. Positivity is key to your plan. That's crucial. Because you don't want to sabotage your plan. And for some, that's what's happening. You're pointing the finger at everybody else, but the reason why is you're not staying positive. Or you're not reacting. You're not evaluating and equipping yourself with the necessary tools that you need so that you can react in and react. This reaction didn't work, let's try it another way. Let's react this way. Because at the end of the day, I want my plan fulfilled. Your plan is your mark. What marks do you want in life? You want to tick those marks off and make new ones. Keep ticking them off. That's what's important to understand, Mishpahah. Always remember what Moses said, is that you are blessed above all people. Well, take that word blessing. Break it down. What's my plan for blessing? What is blessing to me? Ask yourself these questions. What is blessing to me? Some of you, blessing just may be a great relationship. You want a wife. You want a husband. You want a son. You want a son. It can happen. Well, I'm too... You see, there you go. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. That's the fear setting in. You got to stay positive so that you don't sabotage your plan. Mishpahah. Family, do yourself this service. Guard yourself. Guard the prep mode. Guard it from anything that may try to come in and break it up. You got to guard against that. That's very, very important. Guard your families, like our Queen was saying. You got to do that. Got to guard, protect them. If anybody's going to be positive, it's got to be you. Everybody around you may be negative, but you got to be the one that's going to stay positive. Because you understand you have a plan. Most people that are negative because they have no plan. They don't know how to react. They don't evaluate themselves. They're too busy evaluating other people, trying to get in everybody else's business. Like, I think Cory Booker said this. He's like, you're in my Kool-Aid and you don't even know the flavor. he told that divided. I was like, that's kind of funny. You're in my Kool-Aid, but you don't even know the flavor. Because they're evaluating other folks instead of evaluating themselves and equipping themselves with the necessary tools that they need. The necessary tools that they need to succeed. To, at the end of the day, be successful at their plan. Welcome back, Simha. It's good to see you again. Simha was she's the example of water. Came a little blockage there. What did she do? She flowed like water. She went around it. Now she's back. She didn't sit there throwing a pity party. Oh, my internet down. Whoa. No, you just flow like water. Maybe you have to take another direction. Keep it moving. Flow like water. Water is very quiet, yet very powerful. Note that. Water is very, very quiet, but it's very, very powerful. Very powerful. Full of energy. Water is positive. Positive. And that's how you need to be. Flow like water. You need to be positive. Not negative. You want to remove any negativity. That's very important to meeting your plan. Evaluate that. Equip yourself with the necessary tools. Well, Rabbi, I don't know what tools I need. That's when you connect yourself with the Kohen. The Kohen told you in his lecture, he's here for Israel. What did the Master Yeshua say? I have come for who? The 12 tribes of Israel. Didn't he not say that? But everybody has embraced Jesus. Jesus of Nazareth. Yeshua. But who did he say he came for? Let's not put no words in his mouth now. Come on now. So again, it's very important that you understand that you are blessed above all nations. You have to understand how to dive into the blessing. You got to dive in head first. Not with your heart. Well, Rabbi, I've been doing this, just not working or reacting, or I haven't even reacted because I can't get beyond my plan. I just can't see beyond my plan. I'm looking at my vision board, and I just can't see how this stuff is going to... You see, there you go again. The Master Yeshua said, blessed are those that don't see me, yet they believe. Wow. Yet you seen me, and you don't believe. Wow. Take that to the bank. So on that note, I'm going to wrap it up, and I wish you all a great Shabbat. Remember prep. We're in preparation mode right now. We're in that between time right now. We're in the between time. What are you going to do with it? Prep. Prep, Mishpahah. Prep. It's so very important that you prep. Very, very important that you prepare. Prepare now for your blessings. You got to prepare. The blessings are there. You just got to prepare. They'll come on in. Over to you, Akoin. I love you and I leave you all. You all have a great Shabbat and a great 6 days of labor ahead. Look forward to marvelous things happening to you these 6 days of labor. Evaluate them. Watch them. Don't let them pass you by. Watch them and be grateful for them, for your plans being ticked. They're going to be ticked off, I'm telling you. They're going to be ticked off. Over to you, Akoin. Any questions, please? We open it up now for questions, and we'll keep it moving forward. Shabbat Shalom, Mishpahah.
Todah for that, Rabbi Kefa. And with that, I'm going to mention two more things. Number one, I'm going to mention an elephant. So remind me next week about an elephant. I'm not going to go further into it. That's another animal that needs to be in your house. The second thing is a testimony. And I want to give a testimony for the second thread of that story I gave you earlier regarding this family, where there's a few girls involved, and a mother and sister, etc. Well, I wanted to tell you something about one of the girls, and she knows me, I guess she knows me probably from a couple of years ago. And she said to me, this is something she did. And this is probably an instruction I gave her maybe before this, her disappearance or accident because their car fell into a river, and that's when they had the accident and they disappeared. And she said to me that every day, and this testimony was corroborated by 2 people. She said to me that every day, whilst I was being held captive over there, I shouted your name. And I said, Simon, come rescue me. Where are you? And she said, every day I would scream out your name, that Simon, come rescue me. She kept saying that. Every day she kept saying it. And she said that at night I would dream that you come to rescue me. And guess what? Simon was working on a rescue for her. Right that very minute as she was screaming out, I was working on a rescue plan for that family. And I can report back that on August 21st, they were rescued. 3 days ago from today. So point being is that she believed in it, she put her faith in it, and she continued to repeat those words. She continued to speak words for life, for her life, for other people's life. And she wasn't the only person there. Nobody knew who the hell Simon is over there. They said, who the hell she's speaking about? Who is Simon? And she said, Simon will come. And she kept saying, Simon's going to come for me, you watch. She kept telling the girls in her language that Simon is coming. This man in America is going to come rescue me. And guess what? This is how things work. And so as Rabbi Kefa is teaching you, when you're speaking things into the air and you're saying, I am rich, I am wealthy, these things will come into your life. These are not just statements. As you say them every day, with feeling, with a real regard that you are deserving of this, and wealth will come into your life. I don't care you're 99 years old, not circumcised. I don't care you're in Abraham's position like he was at one time. 99, not circumcised, you can still be in a position to get the things that you desire. If you say to yourself with real deep conviction, I am rich, I am wealthy, and I said stand in front of the mirror. Remember I told you in one of these lectures, stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself that I am rich and I am wealthy. Say that every day when you stand in front of the mirror and you're brushing your teeth for 5 minutes. And this will sink in. And it will be so. Because you believed in it, and the universe has to deliver that to you. Just like this girl. It took 3 months, but she believed that I would rescue them, no matter what happens. And things were working in the background. It wasn't like I couldn't hear it. Things were working. I have been working on this case from, months ago. But it has to be, there's usually a 2-way deal. One deal is that you have to come up with, like Rabbi Kefa said, a plan. Well, in your plan will be some things you desire. It may be a job that you desire. And you say that I'm working in my dream job. I am working in my dream job. I am working in my dream job. Or you may say to yourself in a second person, you are working in your dream job. Third person, he is working in a dream job. These are the 3 ways to reiterate your affirmations. These are very, very powerful techniques to help you. And when you do that, you are preparing yourself for what's to come. And it's not going to be like it happens in a day, but you put yourself to it. And within 1 year, and I won't even say 2 years, but within 1 year, and maybe less than 1 year, you're going to see many of your goals that you have, you're going to be ticking them off and say, oh, this one's done, this one's done, this one's done. Hashem Yahweh, I'm going to take this off and write it into my completed journal. This one's complete. This one's complete. This one's complete. And guess what I had written in my script? Guess what I had written in my script 3 months ago? This girl is, boom, rescued. Simon's going to rescue her. I have it written as proof in my script. And this girl is rescued today. That's why I felt so proud of myself. I was like, you know what? You set this as a goal and it happened. What a great man you are. You sit over here 7,700 miles away and you can do something that the government of Pakistan couldn't do for them. I thought, what a marvelous thing that you've done. Saved so many people's lives. That is something to write home about. That is something I can put in my book as a testimony. So, belief. Secondly, a connection with the God of Israel. Thirdly, that you are going to get it. It's not like, oh, maybe it's going to come, maybe it's not going to come, or, am I going to be discouraged? I have nobody here who even knows about this. Nobody knew other than me what I'm doing over here. And I don't need 15 people to encourage me. The only people I need is myself to tell me this is going to happen. And so, with you may have your spouses. You may have a brother or sister, a daughter or son. And you may want to be encouraged. Maybe you do want to be encouraged. But I'll tell you this much. The only person you need to encourage you here right now is me and yourself. That's the only two people you need. And I'm encouraging you that you can receive everything you want. You want a dream job, you can have it. You want a dream car, you can have it. You want a nice house to live in, you can have it. You want money in the bank, you can have it. You want to be a millionaire, you can have it. There is no to nothing. But you have to be focused. And once you focus yourself, God will work His magic for you. He will move the universe wherever He needs to move to. He will fit all the necessary connections. He will make all the connections for you, and you will receive what you want. But a desire, you got to have the desire. And if you have the desire, then you will get it. You miss here. You are going to get what you desire. But you got to believe in yourself too. This is what faith is about. Faith is not about sitting there and praying to Jesus all day. Jesus lives within you. And you got to activate. Yeshua has to be activated. He's within you. How is He going to be activated if you don't activate it? So your destiny is set. Your destiny is set. You got to decide it. I go to a gym. And in this gym, there's a little quotation over there, and says that excellence is an attitude. Excellence is an attitude, and that's the attitude that you people need to live with. Excellence. You don't say, oh, maybe I'll become good one day. No, you believe in it right now. You believe in it, and you say that I am excellent right now. I am excellence. That could be a great affirmation. I am excellence. Rabbi Kefa gave you another great affirmation. I am positivity. I am the solution. That's a great affirmation. Atara, that is actually great. If you have the Noah's Ark with the animals in it, that would be excellent. But now you need to place these animals in the right places, so that they could bring the necessary energies into your home. And there is lots of other stuff. There is lots of other stuff that can be done. We spoke about, I spoke about the bathroom, the placement of the toilet, where it needs to be. And there is something else that I'm teaching Rabbi Kefa, and that is to do with energies in the house. How you can have negative energies coming from the earth, and how we deal with them. And for that you have to use a different technique to evaluate if there's negative energy in the house. You have to detect it first, and then you have to remove it. And let me tell you a testimony that Rabbi Kefa saw firsthand himself. I measured my energy where I sit, my aura. Where I sit, I have my aura around me. Everybody has an aura around themselves. And I measured it, and it came out positive, and above positive energy. The rods that were measuring me actually went wider apart when they came closer to me, showing me that there was a wide energy span around me. And not just one place, in the bathroom, and the chair I sit where I have my dinner, and the place where I sit where I do my where I do my affirmation, or where I do my laptop work or whatever. And I showed Rabbi Kefa. I said, Rabbi Kefa, look at this video. You are now seeing this firsthand what a Kohen is. I said, they all want to see a certificate, but let me show you the real proof over here. I showed him the proof, and he saw it. And Kefa is saying he's a witness to the video. Energy is real. He saw it. he saw those bars, how wide they were. And where we had this negativity, the bars shrink. They could cross over and show you that there is a negative atmosphere in the house, and that has to be dealt with. Because if you don't deal with the negative atmosphere of your house, there are a number of problems that can arise. Yes, Chadasha, stop burning sage. You should not be burning sage. Camphor is a better one to burn. And the negative energy will destroy your finances. Listen very carefully. If you have negative energies in your house, it will drain your finances. It will make you ill. Because you could possibly be sitting in the line of that energy directly, and you probably wouldn't even know it. So this is why it needs to be tested. Energy needs to be tested because it can affect your property. It can affect the structure of your property. Sometimes you can start seeing cracks. And sometimes other things can happen in your house. Foundation can move. That usually is indicative of energy issues in the house. And they need to be tested. So, Rabbi Zachariah, I was thinking about your property because you once reported that you had some structural issues. I was thinking that maybe Rabbi Kefa or maybe myself, we need to go there and measure your house. Find out if there is any negative energy structures there that could be affecting your house. So any of you who are having structural issues in your house, it is definitely related to a negative energy that is arising in your house from the earth directly below. Hence why the placement of toilets, beds, other things in the house, they become pertinent. These are not just, these are like a tab, some kind of a mumbo jumbo thing. This is actually very, very real. People's lives get affected by it. I know somebody out there who visits the stars, Hollywood stars. Somebody who goes to these big stars, even Steven Spielberg's home. This one lady who goes and charges mega bucks. She went to Steven Spielberg's home to test the energies in his house, and she found some negative spots that she told him how to deal with. Because these energies that come from the earth, they cannot be stopped. The energies only come from two places, either from the earth or from above. And they can enter your home from above, through the sun, and from below, through the earth. And it doesn't matter whether you've got a label of Steven Spielberg on your name, or you're James Coburn, or you're Clint Eastwood. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's home has energy. And everybody's home may or may not have negative spots. So they need to be eradicated. Let me give you another story. If you think that I'm just making this up. I met a family, a student of mine in the East met a family, and he asked me, he came to me about 2 weeks ago and said to me, Kohen, what can I do with this family? They are possessed by a demon. And he showed me, I said, show me the pictures of the lady that's possessed by a demon, before and after. He sent me the pictures. I said, give me her name. And the daughter of this woman had told this student of mine that they went to some magician, some Christian magician, by the way. Yeah, Christians do magic over there. Isn't that interesting? So the Christian magician said that they take a fish and they write some kind of an amulet, and they put it in the fish, and they burn it, and they do magic on somebody like that, and they charge money for it. And this Christian man told her, he said, yes, I did this magic. He claimed it. I don't know if he did it or not. He claimed that he did it to her. Some relative of hers went to him. And he said, I cannot undo it. It is undoable. I can only do it one way, but it cannot be undone. And what happens when this woman has this spirit on her, this unclean spirit, the spirit claims, speaks in a man's voice and says, I've come from so-and-so graveyard. This is my name. We're going to take you with us. And then what happens, the girl reported, the mother's daughter, she reported when this happens, around the house is all sorts of negativity. She said, people suddenly start swearing. And she said, one person will swear one word and everybody will swear the same word. She said, I go out to do shopping, to buy groceries, and suddenly somebody will say something bad and everybody else will start saying the same bad thing as well. It's like negative energy is following me. And she goes, my marriage, she said, I was supposed to get married, and my, marriage didn't work, the people who wanted to marry me, they came and rejected me for no reason. Marriage didn't happen, and I lost my job, and there's all sorts of things going on in her life. And she is like so, creeped out with it. She's like, my student was saying that, are you sure that, are you sure you're not having this like, maybe it's your imagination? She's like, no. She said, it's not my imagination. I'm telling you the truth. This whole, she said food burns in the house. She said, I cook food and suddenly I find it burns. I put the right amount of salt and I eat it and there's too much salt in it. So how can these things be happening? So my student came to me and said to me, Hakohen, what do we do about this? This is what she's claiming. I said, what she's claiming is actually true. She's not making things up. It is not her imagination. This is what she's saying is true. It's happening. So there are several points to this. I said, first of all, she's saying that this man that committed the magic, I said, yes, I know about it. What the fish magic they do, this is an ancient magic. In Israel, people did it as well. So I said, well, what is this? What she's saying, that the man said it cannot be undone? So I said, okay, let me make inquiry. I said, I made an inquiry, I just laughed. I said, magic can be undone. I can undo the magic myself. And no magic can stand against the Kohen. And then I said, but there are several other steps. There are several other steps that need to take place. I said, the problem is not in the woman. The problem is in the home. We need to deal with the home first. It's an unclean environment. Ritually unclean. Impure. Where unclean spirits will come and take habit. They'll come and make dwelling. So I said, we need to deal with the home. Once we deal with the home, we'll deal with the rest of it as well. So I gave him several steps that he needs to take. And now he's following through those steps. So I'm still waiting on a reply, because the woman's family, they left town and went to another city for a couple of weeks. So they're out of town. So he said, oh, they're gone out of town. So I said, well, you're going to have to go visit them and then start, implementing the steps I'm telling you. And then we're going to wait for the results. And then I'll follow through with it. Because it's going to be step by step before we get rid of this whole, shebang, the evil spirit, the negativity in the home, the burning of the food, the swearing of the people, cats coming and dwelling in the house, cats coming and pooing in the house, all of these things. I said, I know exactly what's going on. So we're going to deal with it step by step. See, when people are affected, when people get affected by negativity and evil spirits, it's very real. You can't rubbish it. But then somebody has to deal with it. And she's like, nobody to this day. She said, we went to all sorts of people. We've been to all sorts of people and nobody has helped us to this day. And I said, you come to the right place. Now stop. And when I start to work, you will start to see the action happening in your end. And I started to implement a few things. I only implemented about 2 things. And she said, yes, we started to see a difference. And I said, wait for it. More is to come. This is only the beginning. A lot more is to happen yet. So my point, we are dealing with serious things over here. And so when you are talking about your goals and your desires and your dreams and your wishes, these are serious matters. Yet we can deal with diseases. We have disease issues with people. We have issues with financial issues. We have job issues. We have marital issues. We have all sorts of people are plagued with all sorts of problems. And they want answers. So answers have to be given. Not just answers, solutions. They want solutions to their problems. And I'm one man. But this one man is an army by Yahweh himself. So I can do a lot for many, many people. But again, everything, is time. Everything is a process. And so as I put things into process, things are beginning to take shape. And so this is what it is. So with that, remember, these things that you're being taught, they are for your benefit. They are for your blessings. Unless your home is prepared, blessings will not come. So the very first thing, home needs to be prepared. Before that, you need to be prepared. When you're prepared and your home is prepared, blessings cannot stop but come into your house. This is what the priesthood did in the ancient times. This is what a lot of the things that nobody speaks about. I'm probably the foremost authority in the world to speak about these things. I am the foremost authority. And I can guarantee you that no Jewish person, no Jewish rabbi I've ever heard of speaking about these things out there. I haven't heard of any Christian speaking about these things, so-called pastors. They are absolutely jam-packed, clueless, including the rabbis who never speak about these things. Because, you know, they just don't know. And what you don't know, you can't teach. I was speaking to somebody and I said, what you don't know, you can't teach. How can you teach something you don't know? How can you teach something, you know, how can you remove something you don't even know how to detect it's there? So you have to first learn how to detect it's there. Then you have to learn how to fix it. And there's a lot more behind this. You know, you're only getting from me a summary. But a lot is happening underneath that I'm not speaking about. And remember what I told you. I told you that my number one goals are not money related, but they are relationship related. Because for me, relationships are critical. Back in 2018, I think it was around about October, November time period when me and Rabbi Kefa spoke. And I said to Rabbi Kefa, the coming year, because we were about coming into the new Hebrew year, and I said to Kefa, this coming year, we are going to sort out relationships. We are going to fix our relationships. We're going to bed down our families, and we're going to make sure that everything is right in the families. That is our goal for this year. And Rabbi Kefa will tell you that. We had this conversation. I said, you need to fix your family, I need to fix my family, and everybody else needs to fix their family. I don't care, we have to go to China, you know, we have to go to wherever, Himalayas, we have to get our wives and sort them out and you know, bed them down. So then we can start moving forward as a people. But I said, until we do that, we're just floundering left, right, and center. So I said, we got to do that. That's where our focus is going to be. And that's how I shifted the focus entirely to the family. And that's what I've been doing for the last maybe 10 months. I've been teaching about family. I've been teaching about law that helps the family and law that will bring in blessings for the family. And I know that one of my students right now is not present in the room because he's in the east somewhere, looking for, talking to his spouse to be. He's also dealing with family issues. And that is the key. All of you that are looking for spouses, you need to do the same. Continue to seek and continue to find the right person for your life and use your affirmations to help you. And you can do that. You can get exactly the spouse you want. All you got to do is apply the affirmation and believe in it, and then just repeat it, write it, script it. It will come to you. Whatever person that you're desiring to marry, if you feel that person is right for you, you can write a great affirmation about it. I'm having a wonderful relationship with so and so. I'm having a great relationship with so and so person. Our life is wonderful. So this is the kind of affirmations you should be looking at. And it doesn't have to be a spouse relationship. It could be an uncle relationship. It could be a mother-in-law relationship. It could be a father-in-law. It could be a mother-father relationship. So there is things that you can do that can help you to achieve these things. And I haven't mentioned how to make your mother-in-law relationship better, but this is one of the ways. There's other ways as well. And maybe in the future we'll speak about those ways. So with that, you have a great week ahead. Have a great Shabbat in the North American side, and over Europe, our President Trump is already in France having dinner with I believe in the LC Palace with Macron, who's the leader of France. So there's things going on over there, Olivia, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of people gathered up over there talking about trade deals and other things going on. So there's obviously the G7 going on, so we'll have more news about that. And China doing a trade, trade things on America doing on China, and things like that. So with that said, we know who is in control. The Master Yahweh is in control, and nothing escapes him. Believe me, nothing escapes him. So Baruch Hashem Yahweh for that. Keep strong in your faith and hang in there. Until next week, we'll see you soon. Toda Rabba. Shalom Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.